and went off and went to the store, which I wasn't planning on doing. Wasn't planning on it. I was planning on being a lump on a log and just sitting inside. But I had done that for a few days, so here I am. Some of you talked to me earlier, but whatever. Um, yeah, what do you guys want to get into? I want to put all these lights on over here. I think I might enjoy. If anybody's here, you have to wait a second. I got to plug something in, but I will be back in just 1 second. Maybe one of these days I'll actually post these lights up on the wall properly. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Okay, there we go. Who are you and what do you want? What do you want? What are you doing here? Yes, I changed out of my tunic because it's evening and I have no reason to look like some sort of it's a J Victor. I had no reason to look like some sort of goofy shaman. Figured I'd rather just look like I should be out somewhere having partying because it's Friday night. But there's nowhere really open. I mean, there's some bars open right now, but I can't handle bars where you got to be 6 feet away from people and it's kind of quiet. People are goofy. There's no music really. There's you can play the jukebox, but you can't jukebox. Play the jukebox, but you cannot. You can't have indoor music here, which is insane. And if you have outdoor music, you can't play you can't play a wind instrument. And you're about to do for real? Like right now? Oh yes, that's awesome. Did you fast prior to it? That's awesome. But yeah, anyways, the rules here right now with the music thing, you can't play a wind instrument. Holy shit! Well, you're not doing all of that by yourself. You're not doing all of that by yourself. I don't know who told you that's a good idea. What's up, Stan? Do not do that. That's no good. That's way too much. If you've never done it before, and if are you doing it with other people? Are you doing it by yourself? Are you gonna be inside, outside? These are important questions. Um, if it's your first time, that should be enough for hanging out 4 times, like 3 times. I mean, really, 3, 4. I would do. If it's your first time, just so you understand what's happening, I would do a gram and a half. 3 grams is a good standard dose if you've done it before. That's why I say I would do half, and if you think you can handle it, do a little more. But what's up, Who Edison? Yeah, go do some mushrooms, and I don't know who that is, but yeah, yeah, two is fine. Save the 4 because that's a lot, man. 3 is a lot. Look 5 grams is a heroic dose. That's a lot. So anybody that's done psychedelics, I think would normally do 3. But if you haven't and you don't know, I'd say start with a gram and a half. You should split that bag into 4 doses, right? And then do one, see how it hits you, and get into it, and then maybe a little more. What's up, Chicago money? I'm seeing you a little bit. Yeah, I mean, 5 grams on an empty stomach in perfect blackness. You know what I mean? That's a whole different thing. Uh, but if if I don't know someone's experience and I'm not there to guide them or something, and if he's doing it by himself, yeah, and if you're doing it by yourself and you've never done it, you'll be happy and fine with a gram and a half, just to see what's going on. Yeah, you don't want to overdo it because it lasts a while. Well, thank you, man. That's what I look like right now. It's good. I guess it's just good lighting right now, or maybe because I'm smiling because I went outside. You doing it alone? Gram and a half. I don't think anybody would disagree with me. And the only people who would disagree is if you've done it before. You might say do more. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, Jay Victor seems like he's always in a good mood. I would never do it in a bad mood. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It only, I mean, you can get through like troubling things, but you'd have to do it microdoses in that way. If you're in a bad mood or you have some sort of like depression or some shit, you can microdose it, which would be like what? Like a point 0.2 to zero point 0.5 of a gram. Like not much at all. What's up, Kabar? Yeah, good. Yeah, if you're doing it alone, if you're doing it inside too, yeah, definitely just have a good playlist going. Find some good money. Play some jazz. Yeah, Chicago. If you're saying to me play some jazz, I can't do that on here. If we go into the Zoomies, I can. But yeah, for him, oh yeah, you'll find some spacey music. Maybe something a little more. Depends. It depends what he's into. You know, maybe like some jazzy house music, some jazzy house. That's always good. Keeps it kind of. You got a little bit of that oomps oomps in there. Yeah, 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 yeah. Insects, incense, good music. Yeah, if you got good oils and shit around, and if you got good tea, get ready to make yourself a nice pot of tea or something. Ah, accidentally took too much at voodoo. I've never done. I've been to voodoo. Uh, and I was walking around years ago, just like what I was dressed in. It was too much for everybody, and people just would walk up to me and hand me drugs. And I was like, I have to take this off and change my clothes because I was wearing a gold tunic, and it was just too much for people because everybody was already wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and people just sit down like, "What are you doing? Did you wanna?" I'm like, "Yes," and then all of a sudden I was like, "How many things did I just say yes to here?" Yeah, voodoo was cool. Voodoo was a good time. And what was the other festival? The one that they do at the river. For it's not Halloween. It's other time of year. I forget the hell it's called. Anyways, that was a lot of fun too. You accidentally took too much. Is voodoo a no thing? It didn't happen this year. It or last year it didn't happen. Obviously, yeah, Voodoo Fest. But at the same time, if it's Voodoo Fest, you kind of overpay for tickets. And if you're already in New Orleans, if you live here, you can kind of find music anyways and find where the after parties are, and you can get around where it is. Is there a difference between hoodoo and voodoo, or is it just cultural? It's a slightly different form of magic. Hoodoo would be the base, kind of the base of what voodoo is. So it is somewhat cultural, but there is also, as far as I've read, I don't know for certain, but hoodoo has a little deeper rooted practices. It's more of like Haitian. It's not that there's not Haitian and French and all sorts of magic influence here. You'd call it voodoo in New Orleans. I guess it's maybe just a little younger, and it doesn't tend to have it doesn't have the same type of black magic. Where if you're into hoodoo, the types of black magic and dark magic rituals with like literal skulls and crazy shit, that's more Haitian. Haitian would be hoodoo. So I mean it's that culture, and it's just not as it's not as webbed in here like it is here because there's magic everywhere here, but that's about the size of it. I think it's a little more rich. They're really into their ritualistic magic. Where here people are magical, and there are plenty of people that do ritual magic, but it's a less like people just know it exists, and you have to find them. Rozelle played. Oh man, I want to play. Now I want to play. I want to play Wax on Rozelle. I want to play that. In a couple minutes, I'll open up the Zoom if you guys want to join, so that way I can play some music. But yeah, so I think we covered let's see, we covered mushrooms, we covered some hoodoo. Um, Yeah, I was talking to a couple. I thought I was talking to. I was on someone's show a little earlier, and I thought it was someone else because it popped up, and I thought it was somebody else, and I started talking to them. I was like, oh, I didn't know that you had this. I didn't know. And so I'm talking to them like I'm like, why isn't they responding to me? And I go, oh, so after I got done typing to them, I was like, oh, I don't even fucking know this person. I don't know why it showed up in my feed, but hey, whatever. They had a bunch of skin issues that I was trying to help them with. I was like, I didn't know the fuck you had any skin issues because it's somebody I sort of know. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, oops, wrong person. Yeah. I was like, get at me though if you need help or whatever. Dark magic in the moonlight and white magic in the light. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe it works that way. What's up, Junior Montgomery? I don't. It doesn't. If you look at my earliest videos and you really want to get into magic and left-handed, right-handed, black and white magic and full spectrum magic, and I don't agree that the left-hand black magic path is a bad one or an evil one. It doesn't work that way. Just like I don't think you could just do one ritualistic thing by the moon and one by the sun. They have different effects, and I wouldn't call it's 3 stacks. Andre. 3 stacks. Don't do it to him. Read some lit it. Sure. So if the coordination would normally be that left-handed moon time graveyard black magic would be moon magic. That would be the normal idea, but I don't think it really works that way because I know plenty of people that walk around in the daylight that are more black magician type people, and I know people that walk around during the evening, bright as day, that are doing white magic at night. So, totem animals, which ones? The ones I've gotten recently was because a couple shows we've done. I don't know if you brought it up. Like wolves have popped up, like the name, like just anything to do with dogs and wolves. All sorts of birds have been around me. Like I've been having an affinity, I guess, for ducks and geese and all sorts of different kind of birds just kind of flock to me. And you know, wolf, the idea of lone wolf leader, dog star, that kind of thing's popped up quite a bit. Frogs, yeah, I haven't seen any frogs. I see turtles. I see turtles all the time. Turtles have popped up, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I like I've been more most of the time I'm more of a night person. Although I mean I you know, if I'm at the beach, I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm getting to the beach and it's sunshine and then we get a tan and I'm in there. But I don't know, there's something just at the night because a different type of people come out. They're more approachable because they're letting more spirit run through them. I wear my sunglasses at night. Night owls. You know what? I've seen some owls in my life, but not like that. I know people that have really awesome owl tattoos. So I mean that way, you know, the symbology and everything behind that very interesting. And I would say I have pretty good night vision too, which is odd enough. A newt owl. Yeah, I mean, you got. I mean, you kind of more associate, you know, wolves with the moon, owls with the moon. Yeah, and just general energy of people doing magic and graveyards. I live next to a graveyard, connected to things that like I'm always like I get along mostly better with people that are melanated. But that's see now if you think about that, the melanation comes because of the sunshine, so they've taken in more light into their system. So are they, you know, black magic, white magic? It's a really long. It's like saying masculine or feminine energy magic. You got barns. The turtles. They never aggress at me. I don't. They're always floating around in the water. I don't. They don't much come onto the land side around the park. They're usually on the little islands, and I kayak around the islands. They don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know them like that. They're always sitting on the branches, and then just jump onto the island or swim across somewhere. Certain times, you like whenever it's like mating season, whenever they're everywhere, and they're always playing in the water. You know what's funny is I still hear my friends the crows all the time, but I do not see them as often. Not over here in this part of town. Our part of town, I'd always see them. Now I hear them and I always say, "What's up?" But I mean, of course they're at the park and I see them there. But barn owls, hooty hoot hoot, hawks and owls. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know hawk. I've never. Hmm. I've seen a lot of different birds recently, like a lot of blue jays and stuff. It's interesting. And I've never been like a bird watcher, so it was never really like, hey, what kind of bird is that? Because I didn't do the country thing, but now that I'm closer to a park, it's kind of more available. The crows, yeah, the crows come in many different varieties to me, but yeah, usually it's three of them at least. Yeah, you know, usually they say if one crow comes, death occurs. If two comes, it's different. If three comes, it's good luck. If four, you know, there's like a rhyme to it. I forget what it is, but people are always like crows. They're no, that means like no. It's only if it's like if you see if you're in the middle of the desert and one crow's there, well, that's different. What if you're yeah, I don't the I don't really the birds don't really come out of the trees because there's too many ducks and pigeons and geese. So they have to wait until they go somewhere else to go and feed. So I don't really get to see them. And if I'm around, it tends to be that the ducks will be around and the geese will be around, and then the other birds will fly over. Raptors. Yeah, crows are up there. Intelligence level, mostly blackbirds, but crows mostly yeah, they're definitely up there. Super intelligent. I'd say I'd seen something else that recently they were talking about. It was a crow that opened up a hot sauce or something. Opened up a package of like maybe they had was a chicken nugget or something. I don't remember what it was, but they were taking their thing and dipping it into the sauce and then eating it. Like you seen them, they opened up the sauce and they took the thing and dipped it in the sauce and ate it. I was like, oh, look at these guys. What's up, Melissa? What are you doing? We're just dicking around here. We might go to the Jimmy Jammer Zoomy Whammers, and then we got music and goofing around over there. Um, yeah, crows. Yeah, crow life. Yeah, yeah. I had a really awesome Black Crows T-shirt, and I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it was like one of like a dumb night that I had where I like ripped it, or if I gave it away. You know, I have those nights, or if it's just in my laundry and I just have not got to it yet to you know, because I had so much laundry to do that I was like I can't even. I gotta go to the laundromat. Yeah, it's like a whole issue to get it done. I was like, shit, this is about to cost me way too much money to do laundry. I was like, I'll just wear the same three shirts for the next month. What's up? It's time. What are you doing? Mm. Yeah, I needed to go to the store and grab a couple snacks, some strawberries, and some drinks because because I've been overwhelmed. Well, not really overwhelmed, but I've just been like, you know, you scroll through social media, and you get into YouTube and you watch things, and Sometimes you're like, you just read something and you're just like so astounded by like how dumb it is, or how blatantly misguiding it is. And I'm just like, people read this and they take it serious. Like when like I know most people that are intelligent, like they read the Washington Post and like this is garbage, and the New York Times or whatever, they're like this is garbage. But some people they read that and they're like, well, this is something. And there were a couple really amazingly frustrating articles from so many levels that it irked me. So I was like, and as soon as I just threw my phone down. I was like, I'm going to the store. I'm getting a drink. I'm gonna walk around. And just like fucking put my phone down. Just go to the store, grab some snacks, get some beers, and then go sit by the river for let's go up the river. Go sit by the bayou for a little bit and take a couple breaths. One of it was about one of the articles. I'll tell you a piece of the article. It was about it's about apes getting the jabby wabbers. Apes, like old apes. And like when you read the story and you're just like from sentence to sentence, and you know how to write like if you know how to write manipulate like to manipulate and use psychological like it's they're they're forming something to manipulate people's mindset. If you know it's happening, you just go, I see what you're doing here. Anybody else doesn't notice it. They're just like going, what? And I'm reading it. I'm just like, that's wrong. That's misguiding. I'm going through every single one of the possible um, logical fallacies. Like they just use so many logical fallacies. Oh yeah, okay. Well, there you go. That's the easiest way to do it, Kabar. Just grab the quoted words and then do gematria on it, and you'll see what they're saying. That's the easiest way to do it. I mean, if you go through using the gematria to go directly to the numbers, as long as you know what the numbers kind of mean, or else you kind of be all over the place. So, but usually I'll just go to sources to find out that they already know the numbers better than I do. Like I know some key ones, and I know what the quotes say. I'm like, oh, here comes some dumb shit. But then we like really reading an article, which I normally don't do. I don't get involved in it. And I was like, I seen the headline. I was like, oh, this is about to be great. 5 paragraphs, and I was like, there's at least 7 logical fallacies in here, and two key fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, who Addison? I don't know. I don't know anything about the Facebook thing. I guess people do. Some of it is like people taking something off, like they'll just take a headline off of any sort of news media source, wherever they're getting it from. Probably could be YouTube. I think YouTube is a class of people by itself. There's some people that use it very selectively, and there's people that don't use it at all, and there's people that are like full on. That's their society. You can't fit like. How many people I know that within a group they're like, you can't say and do that. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't. I would have if I ever had YouTube. I would have been kicked off it in like 10 minutes. like, if you say something stupid and I disagree with you, like let's have a discussion. And they'll be like, oh, you can't say this on YouTube. So I don't know. I've heard too many people just go. They get in like more arguments and things with people that were like friends or family. That like I'm like I'd rather just talk to you somewhere else. Don't take your idiocy to Facebook. Oh, you do 8 breathing? You do 8? Kabar, a good one if you want to get into a nice meditation is what is it? 784 breathing? Is that right? Or is it 748 perhaps? Breathe in 7 seconds, hold for 4, and then out for 8. Or it's 8. It's one of those. I forget which one it is. I always have to look it up. It's one of those breathing patterns. That's a good one. And it's no instructions on whether you should use the mouth or the nose, but I believe the in breath should be the nose, the holding and the out breath should be the mouth. I use that in tandem with circular breathing. The mouth, nose, mouth, which I would standard stick to 3 or 6 seconds breathing, and that's the alpha, the beta alpha, wait, the beta, the delta, the beta, the beta, the theta, the alpha, the beta, wait, oh, the delta, the theta, the alpha, beta, that way, yeah. Those have got to be rabbit holes that aren't even fun to go in. There's plenty of rabbit holes I like to go down with people, but I couldn't even imagine when it's like there. I mean, shit. I wish I had place. I wish I had any property to do gardening and shit, but singing and dancing in nature, tending to plants. Yeah, I suppose there's some places that in the park I could just kind of plant something. Probably could. Probably figure that out. But I hope your time has been what? Yes. This present form of what? There's everything is just now. It's just always continuously now. There is no future. There is no past, or something. Artichokes. They take a little bit to grow, huh? I love artichokes. You know what? I love artichokes when they're already prepared out of a can. Other than that, like whenever you get the ones from the store, they cost extra money that you got to go through all of this to get this tiny little piece of. I can't even f with it. It's just too much of a process, and it's never worth doing. I like them. What's the other one? Globe artichokes. I really love artichokes. One of my hearts of palm and artichokes are two of my favorite things. The garlic and the turmeric. Yes, that's funny. That's two things I had to bring up with a couple people today. Garlic and turmeric, because of they're having a little bit of bacterial problems. Mask wearers. You know, you can only help them so much, man. Garlic and honey. Chewing on garlic with honey, turmeric. Get rid of inflammation. All the pretty flowers. Clove and artichoke dip. Huh. Interesting. That's an interesting combination. I like artichoke dip, just like normal whatever they do, like a cream cheese and artichokes or whatever. Or whatever, what else they spinach, artichoke, and cream cheese, I think. Cayenne is super powerful. Yeah, most of the stuff, no, most of the stuff that I know about that would help me, I kind of just, I'm just an idiot, and it's like there's no reason for me to not just sit here and suffer through it. Like it would take me getting up and going and searching in my closet for the right herb, and I'm like, for what reason? It's kind of like sometimes it's like taking a shower or doing anything. I'm like, who am I gonna go? What am I gonna shave? Am I gonna clean up this? Like why? For what? Am I gonna go in public and meet someone? No, nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to hang out. Nobody does shit anymore. Yeah, cayenne's a big one. Like if you only had to know a few herbs, cayenne would be one of the most important. Probably cayenne, sage, lemon balm, which is Melissa, um, ginger, garlic. I don't know if you really call it ginger. It's a root or garlic, but herbs otherwise than that. Maybe something sleepy and something diuretic. Maybe catnip. Something inflammation fixing, turmeric, but that's another root. Cayenne is good for that as well. Blood movement. Yeah, no, I did I shower today? No, I took the easy way out. I mean, I bathed, but it was a sink bath. Did myself a bird bath. Yeah, it's almost there. It's almost spring cleaning. Spring is sprung, and I'm there. I'm in the mode like where I'm a little chunky, and I got a little bit of skin irritation, from just eating garbage this winter. So it's almost springtime is here. There's other ones that I know about that I really like, but they're a little like if you had to know specific ones, it'd be what's more readily available that you should become familiar with. You know, like I don't know, whatever's locally and readily available. And I should maybe learn like 10 herbs. I got a couple books around here with good lists of them, but I just like because everything I do is over dramatic, I guess. So I have like 200 herbs in my closet that I play with. I haven't used them in a while, but you know, lemongrass. Lemongrass, I like the aroma. But I do not like to put lemongrass in my oil diffuser too much because it's too powerful. And if you do, you have to break it. You have to cut it with two other things because it's too sharp. And I would cut it with I don't know, maybe clove and cinnamon. And honestly, you get that green yellow, and then you use like a brown red. That would work. Hmm. One of my favorite things is bergamot. Bergamot and what's the other one? Helichrysum, bergamot, helichrysum, and chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum can be a little too flowery, but helichrysum and bergamot, best things you can find. But they're difficult to find. Oh, I love sandalwood too. Obviously the hippie smells, sandalwood, and but even when I do those, like I make beard oils, as much as I want to put patchouli and sandalwood in there, I have to cut it with other things to. I have to even use a mint in there to kind of get rid of that kind of very round smell that just kind of goes everywhere. You have to cut it with something sharp. What's up? What's up, Arcane? Arcane? Aloe vera and fennel. What is fennel for? Is it fennel for blood? Because aloe vera is, well, I mean, that's good for a ton of different things, but diuretic. It's good for skin disorders. Yeah, Melissa. Yeah, Melissa oil is called lemongrass, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Melissa is lemongrass. I'm pretty sure. I could probably look it up right now. Give me 2 seconds. I'll figure it out. Literally 2 or 3 seconds. Let's see. Oh, it's actually, it's not lemon. It's not. I got it wrong. It's not lemongrass. It's lemon balm. Lemon balm is Melissa. That's the other one. Sweet Melissa. Oh, well, I mean, there's the whole family of the Melissa herbs, but that would be the most popular one. Would be called lemon balm. Uh, Blue cypress. I don't know that. Although I do like, there are some good blue herbs that are a little more. Oh no, I wouldn't say psychedelic, but speaking of, yeah, no, I know the song "Sweet Melissa." Yeah. Yeah, here I'll read it to you, and I want to go now that you've just said this. I want to go put this into. I want to go put something with this. Here, um, it's called lemon balm. Botanical family is called the Melissa officinalis. The family is the Lamecia or a mint family. It's an aerial plant. Its properties are nervine, relaxing, antiviral, relaxing, diaphoric, aromatic, digestant, antispasmodic, used for stress, anxiety, cold sores, flus, teething and melancholy, and hyperthyroidism, insomnia. And the best way to take it is teas, tinctures, and popsicles, amazingly enough. which I've never, I've read that chart so many times, I never noticed it said put it in a popsicle. So hold on, I'll show you what I want to use here. What have I done with it? Oh, here you go. There. Lotus stamens. Blue lotus? Lotus stamens. And hold on a second. Let me find a good way to do this. Huh. You're really supposed to soak it in here, but I can speed up the process a little bit. It's quite wasteful, but can I just use this tomorrow? Boom. Normally you'd let this sit for maybe a few hours. In wine, you don't want to put that with too much hot alcohol, because it'll break apart the plant a little too much. If you understand what I'm saying, you just want to. That's why it's better to let it sit than shake it, and it's better to use wine than it is liquor. Although after I use the wine, I will put liquor in there, because you can extract different elements out of the plant. Where is the top to this thing? Hold on one second. There we go. Yeah. So you can extract out of one plant. You can get like a certain amount of extraction by using a cold water extraction. Others by shaking. Others by using warm water extraction. And so others ones you don't want to use a vodka, but other things that you need, think about it. Things that are herby, think about it in the sense of certain teas. If you boil them too hot, you'll destroy the tea. So like a green tea, cooler temperature. Wine is a cooler temperature. Vodka is a hot temperature. So a bark like a root, you want to use it. You would use a vodka or a hot water extraction, because of the alkaloids you'll be getting out of it. All right. I'll be back with you in one moment as soon as I finish pouring this. Nice. That did decent extraction. Change the color to a nice milky color. Oh shit! I know my hands all moist. Oh my god! I feel like I need to ask somebody to open up the pickle jar. Excuse me, honey, could you open the pickle jar for me? Okay, cool. Let's go back in here. Got my wine. Let's see if this. I don't know how much of an effect it will have, because usually I'd want to drink a couple glasses of that, and I'd want to do that without anything else, so I could observe the effects properly. Well, I haven't really drank that much. I only had like a glass and a half. Fire. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Where we at? Yeah, I do put it in smoking blends, but again, it's in a blend, so I don't know what's doing what. Sage and blue lotus. Yeah, I always put sage with it too. Hibiscus I like. It's time. Do I have a video on alkaloids? Let me just put it to you this way. I have over 2,000 videos, and most of them are over an hour long, so I'm pretty sure I do. I just don't know how to tell you to get there, because As I like to explain to people without over-explaining, I don't put a lot of very good tags in there because I'm using an Android phone and I can't put tags. If I could before I do the show, I would just put the tags in. Can't do it from my phone. If I do it from a PC, I can. So when I first started making videos, they were tagged properly because I would tag it. I had to have a couple ideas. And then after a while, I was like, I'm using my phone. I was like, I can't even tag these videos. I'd have to go back later and be like, what was I even talking about? You know, and there's like a whole thing. I don't have to go to the computer to do it and blah, blah, blah. So then it got to the point where I was just doing talks when I go, I don't even know what people want to know. So they're pretty much the early videos of mine. Scroll through that. You can definitely find stuff on alkaloids and extractions and tinctures, and maybe put my name in tinctures in. I'll do a whole video on it again. Maybe I'll just start another channel. I was thinking about doing this the other day, starting another channel, and I'll do like maybe a day. I'll do a disease a day, and maybe an herb or something about a specific topic again. Because I got away from that because I did that for so long, and I was answering people. Like people ask me like questions before I do a show, and then it turned into I was doing live shows where it would just be interacting this way. But that's a long subject to get into with the alkaloids and the. Here's how I'll explain it. I'll explain it very simple. You have 3 levels to the realm. 3 levels to everything. 3 levels to your body, up to your belly button, from your belly button to your throat, and then from your throat to the top of your head. There's 3 levels. On a tree, you have the root system, then you have the stalk or the bark, and all of that's what's going on there, and then you have the fruit, or what you'd have is the roots underground and the vegetation, and then the fruits. So the roots to the fruits, and the roots need the most heat for something to happen. So if you find food that's underground, you need to cook it so it can open up and allow for the starches to be released, etc., etc. Same thing if you're using herbs to extract something out of it. You want something hotter. What's hot? Hot is drink a shot of vodka. That's hot. Drink some wine. Warmer but not hot, and drink beer. It's cold. There's not much to it. So beer doesn't do a lot for extracting things unless you were going to use beer in a flour. Think about beers that have flowers in it. So up here, flowers and juices and things. Well, what's next? Grapes. Grapes are right on the ground there, right? So those make wines. So there's certain extractions you can do with wines that you do with white wines because red wine already has too much substance in it. So you'd use white wines to extract certain types of flowers and things that you find above ground. Make sense? Or you could just heat things up. So like in the form of a tea, if you have white tea, you need to take the water off the stove at like 150 degrees. Now if you have a tea that has been a green tea, maybe 180. Then a fully fermented black tea, then you can do it pretty much almost boiling because of how much it's already been processed by the whole process of that's going on. The sun is cooking it. So that's there's 3 levels to that. That's how you gotta kind of pay attention to what herb you're using, and it's a pretty simple thing. Once you can identify that, you can pretty much figure out what herb you do what with. Cocaine is a hell of an alkaloid. Yeah, the only thing I've been missing for a while is the massage because you can't really go anywhere to get one. You gotta call like ahead, and you go inside, and you're like, oh, I gotta rubber gloves and this and that, and like everything's like a whole fucking thing. And it's like it's too sterile. And what happened to it when a massage was, and it's also expensive before. And also, you could find someone to just trade massage with. Now it's not that easy. So that I've been missing out of my life for a little bit. Are you asking me? Do I do a massage? Oh, you never knew this? I have 2 I have a table and I have a chair and I have all of the oils and all sorts of cool equipment. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, have I do I do it professionally? Did I go to school for it? No, but I've had plenty of teachers, and I know people that have gone and taught me things, and then just intuitively, I know what I'm doing, and I've watched enough videos on techniques, and I've put enough hours in, you know. The L-theanine. Yeah, that is. I remember doing a lot of research on that specific substance. Twinkie Winky. What's up, Waterbringer? Yeah, I mean, I would like to do that, but there's also, man, I'm just like this whole thing doing it for free. Like it's sometimes I people really help me out, and I get paid what I'm worth to do this for free, and I get donated properly too. And other times I'm like, I just put way too much work into this, and I'm not seeing any return. And especially considering right now, like I need to make money somehow. So it's kind of like I'd like to, maybe I could do shortened versions of it and be like, hey, if you're interested in knowing more, I could do those. But then I kind of feel a little shitty about doing that, like because I just like talking and getting right through it, and like there's the knowledge. Pay me later. I don't fucking know. Anatomy of attachments. Never heard it put that way, but yeah. Yeah, Melissa, the overactive. See, that's the main thing. I mean, most people will start without. They'll either have an overactive or underactive bowel system or thyroid, or you can find those pretty quickly. Most people, though, those would be major ones for most people. Most people, it's a thyroid issue, hyper or hypothyroidism, blah, or whether they shit 80 times a day or shit like once a month. You can find out a lot just from those two major things. That tends to be where most people trap things, and then the other things get clogged. Is like something to do with. I mean, the thyroid is kind of right there in the throat region. Mine is not. I don't really. If it was anything, it might be hyperactive. It's not hyper. It's not hyper. It's not underactive. I don't like. I don't put weight on that. Like I did during the winter, so maybe then it was hypoactive. Hypothyroidism. Kamar, sometimes you're afraid to touch somebody, disrupt their entire system. what did, what was the mistype there? Oh, you asked Okay, I didn't get you before. I thought you mistyped Kamar when you said melty. Melty. What up, Melty? I'm gonna call you Cheesy Melty. I think she was saying in between the lines, the cocaine lines. Oh my gosh, look at this. Barefoot coming through. You found your way? You found your way here? No shit. Amazing. Crazy to see you around these parts. What it does. What it does. Drinking this this spirit cocktail with can't really tell. I think it's very calming. It's very calming. The lotus stamens. If only I knew. I don't know anything. I try to go through my whole life knowing nothing. It makes it easier to talk. Of course, I know that I know a lot more than people, but in knowing that, I know that I know nothing. That kind of bullshit, right? Yeah. I do kind of enjoy it. I think they should sell more wine that's already infused with that. Like any kind of just, not just infused with some sort of like aftermarket syrup or something, but like wine infused with herbs. That'd be legitimate. That's legitimate right there. Most anything that corporations are doing now, you could just switch a few things in the corporation and it would become healthy and helpful rather than the shit that it is, like Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper. Just go back to the original formulas of what they were, especially Dr. Pepper. Get rid of the high fructose, put actual syrup in there, made from sugar. Get the real herbs put in there. Beer, stop, cooking them afterwards. Like just let them be, let them settle and ferment for their own, and then bottle that bitch. Wine, start adding proper herbs too, and stop putting the sulfites in it. I mean, pretty much across the board, you can find any business. I know I just used alcohol as an idea, but you find any business and you could change the business model just slightly, and it'd be healthy to people. Barefoot always got some crazy shit going on. Barefoot, I think you do too many. I think you do too many ketamines, man. Yes, sometimes you know what? Sometimes I feel like sometimes I kidnap myself. You know, very funny. That was right after I talked to a bunch of people, and it was like they had like a bunch of shit going on in their world, and so they were telling me about what's going on in their life, and I was like, wow, like I felt like, holy shit, like the whole world's all fucked up, anyways, and then I was like, man, I like after the next 3 days, um, I was like, I'm just chilling out in my house, dude. I need to relax from talking to people and being in society and shit, because like they were just like they had like major shit going on, and that I don't know. I've heard just obviously because of this whole bullshit that's going on. Like you hear all of these like interesting stories of people's like the movement in their life and the relationships that were built and destroyed, and people moving or going somewhere new or whatever. And there's like all sorts of weird shit happening. And then I was just like, wow, it's a lot of shit. Like I normally deal with people on a psychological level, obviously. But then I need to introvert myself a little bit. So yes, I saying yes for the last 3 days. I've been ketamine, barefoot ketamine. It's a horse tranquilizer. Prune juice. I don't know. I don't know anything. I've had it before. I don't like prunes though. If I'm gonna, I'll drink. I like figs. I don't like prunes. Prune juice is okay, but it's not like I don't really have a problem with taking poops. Plenty of other ways to do it for me. Coffee, sauerkraut, good beer. That's pretty much I don't need all that prune juice. Although prune juice would probably be dope in some wine. A prune wine would be good. Prune juice in a dump. My favorite thing really is a cigar and espresso and a glass of wine. That gets my day started perfectly. But it's hard to accomplish that living in different parts of the city, because you can't like I can't just go like, okay, where can I get this coffee at that I can also smoke a cigar at that I can get a glass of wine at? It used to be easy, and so it was a good Saturday morning or something. Now it's like, uh, Oh no, it's hey, barefoot. It's really awesome in small amounts. In small amounts, it's really fun. I haven't done it in a long time. Oh, you're saying Dr. Pepper is prune juice to you? Well, I mean, I guess it's got to be. It probably tastes close to that now, but what it used to be. I mean, the amount of herbs, because I've actually looked up the recipe for it, and I've made kind of an offshoot of it because I didn't have everything. But yeah, like even Coca-Cola has a couple weird things in it, that you wouldn't expect to be in there. So I've made some Coca-Cola, RC Cola, Pepsi Cola analogs. Just I made the syrup, and then you go get the bubbly stuff, and it's pretty dope. It's just like the process of doing it. It's like make the syrup, and it's kind of I just don't drink soda pop. I don't drink cola that often. Which cheese? Oh, blue cheese. If I was gonna eat cheese in the morning, it would be blue cheese. Oh, blue cheese, a white wine, a triple shot of espresso that I'll add a little bit of sugar to, and a cigar. I'm good to go. Blue cheese, yeah. And there's so many kinds of blue cheese. I like the stuff towards green, the green colored green. There was a time I was really into blue cheese, and I could probably name off like 20 different varietals, and I just times are a little different these days. I don't live near stores like that. Blue cheese is kind of a expensive offering. Super healthy though. Oh, and I love manchego. Manchego, except for it's a little too waxy and oily for wine, I believe. You could do feta. You could do feta with wine. You could do feta, goat, and blue with wine. The manchegos and the more yellow stuff, the oily stuff, I just don't prefer it with wine. What gives you a headache? Blue cheese does? Blue cheese gives you a headache? Or wine gives you a headache? You saying blue cheese does? Man, that's something else then. That's not the cheese, no way. I mean, especially if you're getting raw blue cheese, that's a super healing thing. Why would blue? I don't know. You might the blue cheese if it's a good living blue cheese that hasn't been pasteurized afterwards and turned into some if it's maintained its raw blue cheese nature. It could be breaking apart things in your body and start moving around stuff that you know could give you a headache. I never heard of that, but if you're drinking red wine with blue cheese, it would be the red wine that would give you the headache because there's going to be salts and sulfites and weird shit in the red wine. And if you're drinking cheap wine, headache town. Feta and goat, yeah, it does seem like mold, but no, it was so funny. It happened to me and the person that I did a fast with, the first fast I did. Before we did the fast, neither of us liked blue cheese. After I did a long fast on water, something said get blue cheese, and we both ate blue cheese, and we're like, what the shit is this? We'd been out to like nice wine restaurants before with people, and somebody orders like the cheese plate, and we're like, ugh, keep your fucking blue cheese to yourself. We ate something like, eh. Now after that, we would just go out and be like, wine bar, blue cheese, let's go. And then we'd buy like all the blue cheese. Our taste changed. I don't know. I don't. It could have been like just not an allergic reaction or anything, but like when you put a certain probiotic in your body, an enzyme, it's gonna break things apart, and maybe that was causing something. But after the fast, love blue cheese. I love red wine. Yeah, I love red wine, but it has to be good red wine, or else I don't have a good. That's hangover material. That's headache. It's breathing problems. Like I don't know. Too much. They add salts and shit to it. Not no good. No bueno. I could drink cheap white wine all day. Could be something to do with My kidneys. I don't know. Not the whole bottle. I drink boxes of wine because it's cheaper. But a bottle of wine? Oh, shit. A bottle of wine? What is that's cake. A bottle of wine before breakfast. Yeah, tequila. I almost bought tequila today, but instead I bought vodka because the vodka was on the vodka was on sale for super cheap, and the tequila, which I really like, was still on sale, but it was like I was like, oh, that's an extra couple dollars I don't have right now. Well, I mean, anything can give you allergic reaction, but allergic reactions aren't. They're not most allergies that people have are something you can get over. You know, it's something that should be processed out of your body. So allergies aren't what people think they are. Allergies are basically if you go somewhere new and you've never had it before, your body will not know how to respond to it, so you don't have it. It's a different part of your immune system. And other things like an overload of something that your body shouldn't have. Like, so that's why I say it's not necessarily allergic reaction because I shouldn't be putting extra sulfites in my system in cheap red wine. Good red wine I don't have any problems with. And even cheap white wine that they don't add anything to. Vodka? Oh, it's good vodka too. Do you like Svedka? Svedka's on sale. It was like super on sale. Like so on sale that I almost bought 2 bottles. It was the 1.75s was $17. A 175, not a 750, not a 1.5. A 175 was $16. Vodka turns you into Shira. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Vodka to me is the most just normal baseline. Like, oh yeah, everybody's got that liquor that makes them something else. That to me is probably rum or whiskey. Although if I'm around the right people in the right environment, rum and whiskey work perfect. And there's other sweet ones that I don't like. But vodka I can pretty much do. I've learned that tequila is my favorite thing. But vodka and rum, I think there's something about the maybe or excuse vodka and rum, whiskey and rum. I think it might be something to do with the wood, the barrels, because there's a residual sugar in there that causes like the. There's one of the dark liquors I don't like, but however, I really like Cavassier or something like that that's made out of grapes. It's kind of more of it's a more expensive bottle, but I don't have any problems with that. I always have a good time. Just more expensive. Your body has to catch up to your mercurial mind. Yeah, mine go back and forth. Sometimes sometimes my brain is hyper mercurial, obviously, and sometimes my body is hyper advanced. But when they link up, it's pretty good. Beer, just cheap beer all day is pretty much my go-to. Keep a nice buzz. Figure I can watch myself start to like, okay, that's enough. Where other things, nah, not it's depends on time, what's the temperature outside, where you at. Hurdle a 4-foot fence. Oh, see, Melissa, you're saying like there's a time for red wine. Oh, that way that's kind of like right around then. Like you're already feeling a certain way. It's like listening to depressing music when you're depressed. Yeah, it's just what you do. Chicks are drinking red wine. I'm like, okay, this is the kind of day. Bloody Marys, red wine, and brunch. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna. You guys have fun. Oh, you're saying alcohol has no effects for you? Okay, no shit. Huh. No shit. See, there's some times where alcohol doesn't has a very little effect on me. It depends. I have not keyed into what it is. Um, I know there's a few substances I can do that will just alcohol does not matter. I'm 100% focused, and it's not just like yayo or something. But that's so funny. As the tides rise inside, alcohol has no effect. I know it's kind of like, yeah, well, emotionally too. Um, I mean, think about it. Have you ever been doing something and then like some wild shit happens and then all of a sudden you're less drunk? You know, people sometimes you're comfortable and you. It's not that you're acting more drunk, that you have no. I don't know. Like you're just like there, and then if something stupid happens, somebody fucking starts the fucking I don't know starts something on fire. You're just like, well, and I'm focused now. We got to fix that, and you're back there to 100%. It's kind of like a adrenaline boost or something. Mimosas, yeah, mimosas are basically that's just champagne in a drop of orange juice. Yeah, mimosas. I don't know. I I don't. If we drinking mimosas, if it's that kind of day, I'm all for bottomless mimosas. They're just kind of overpriced for what you get, and unless we're doing a lot of drugs as well, it's not worth it. Mimosas are Bloody Marys are good Sunday morning hangover, whatever. And mimosas are like if you're kind of trying to get a little tickly nose. Fresh mint for mimosas. Oh yeah, just on the top, just on the rim. Yeah, I'm good with that. Any kind of green herb, really. You can do a little rosemary, mint, something like that. Wish what didn't happen. What do you combine? What you mean? What you wish what didn't happen? Jack of all traits. What do you mean? You wish what didn't happen? That like mimosas didn't include drugs. I'm not saying I don't even I perhaps have. I just don't. I don't. I like going to brunch. That's just not what I'd order. I just figure I like to go to like there's brunch places down here that have like at distilleries. There's distilleries down here that do, and it's a really nice restaurant, and you can get good food that's not too overpriced, and then all you can drink vodka bar. That's awesome. I stumble out of there perfect. And I stumble out there perfect time because they like shut it down at like 2 o'clock. They'll always give me one last one for the road, whatever. And I'm like, good to see you guys. I'll see you next week at same time, same retard channel. It sucks because those are my people over there, but it's so far from my house now. Yeah, I used to bug out with them all the time. Always get. It was a really it was classy place, and I just lowered the bar just enough just by being there. But I also entertained people like nobody else would be entertained because it was kind of a little sharp and fancy. Like people would still sit down at the tables and like family events, like not too family. It'd still be brunch, and there'd be like it'd be it'd be a wedding party, and then over there'd be like people from New Orleans with the kid or like whatever. But then there's like the nice bar and it's like fancy and well lit, and you can go on a tour of the whole place, and it's all yeah, righteous. You've never had a stupid mimosa? Mimosas just in general, they're just wasteful, man. It's too expensive for what you get. Who's getting drunk off champagne? Have you ever got drunk off of champagne? I have no idea. Maybe in 2000 and maybe in 2002 or 2003. Maybe at like an amateur hour at a but I couldn't even really say I couldn't even say like New Year's Eve because you're still drinking other shit. So that doesn't really count. And here's the thing is when you do mimosas, like the thing is if you're hanging out drinking mimosas, it's already too expensive for what you get, and then somewhere in there, some people are gonna order shots. Now the tab is gonna be huge, and you're gonna be really loaded. And that I'd rather just and mimosas it's too acidic too. I think maybe it's too much orange juice for me. I'm just not a big fan of orange juice. Maybe that's what it is. Japanese beers. What do you remember? Which ones they were? Because I know a couple. I know a couple really good Japanese beers. Do they have like very funny cans, like crazy colors and silly names, and they're made with like exotic fruit? Champagne does give headaches. It does, as far as I know. But I mean, like, but it depends. It depends if it's good champagne again, and also champagne goes good with other Sapporo. Yeah, Sapporo is just an average. That's the average go-to. Kavar, champagne, you get headaches and diarrhea. You get the moist poos. Arcane, you got a Blue Lotus right now? Yeah, the Lotus stamens. Or are you talking about the Blue Lotus? You're talking about the seeds. They're a little different. Different psychedelic quality, but yeah, Sapporo is good. I whenever I go, oh, Blue Lotus beer. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, Sapporo is dope because it's like just it's the go-to. See, this is like this side of town and nothing's open now, so I haven't got really to experience the bars that I'm near because nothing's open. But where I used to live, with everything that was open, there was a lot of really cool little like divey places, and I got this little hotel bar here, and then I got this one inside of this hotel, and then this one over. I got two hotel bars, and I got this Chinese restaurant, and then all within walkable distance where I can stumble home. And if I don't make it there, I'm comfortable sleeping in the park. What you talking about? How you spell what? Talking to me? Are you talking? Kavar, are you talking about the sake cafe? You talking about sake? Like sake, like Japanese rice wine? You talking about Japanese rice wine, sake? Sake's great. I've had some messy times on sake. I know I've yeah, every what's funny is every city that I've lived in, most every city I've lived in, I'll end up somehow meeting the person that owns or manages the place, whatever Chinese restaurant or Japanese restaurant, or one of those like sushi joints, and all of a sudden, it's we're doing sake bombs, and it's a whole fucking thing. A couple times I was like full on like hanging out with like I was in the middle of the country, and it was some of the best sushi I ever had. And I was like, why do you have this sushi, and why does this place look like this? And he just laughed. And then a couple days later, I'm sitting in the back room with this giant table, and everybody there was like, sake bombs with these motherfuckers, cool. Teaching me a different language and shit. He's like, I get I get fish fried here every every other day. He's like, yeah, straight from. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ, you're not supposed to be able to have, uh, you're not supposed to have sushi in the middle of the country. It doesn't make sense. But I've had sushi near all the waters, closest airports anywhere, and closest next to. It's like getting lobster in Boston, or crabs in New Orleans, or in well, you get lobster in Boston, crabs in Baltimore, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I've had all that, but no. One of the best places I've had sushi was in the middle of the fucking country. Crazy shit. Oh, Arcane, for real? That's so funny. Dave was just talking about microdosing some muscarias. Yeah, I don't know mushrooms like that, Arcane. Asaki and hibachi. I've only been to a couple hibachi places. Only a couple hibachi places. I like to just be at the sushi bar. The Germans. Speaking of the Germans, where the hell are all the Germans right now? Oh, they're probably sleeping. We got to start these things earlier or way later for the Germans to show up. Wonder what they've been doing. I talked to John. I talked to John Shamonic the other day. I haven't talked to Jim and I haven't talked to in a little bit. Maybe a couple weeks. Yeah, sushi's another thing. Do you like white tuna? Do you like toro? White tuna and toro, the fatty underbelly. Yeah, it's like you're not supposed to eat too much toro because there's so much of a weird kind of oil and something else in it. It could cause like it's like basically you can only eat some. It's expensive too, but god damn if that shit isn't good. With like a very small slice of hot jalapeno, hot sauce, and then some sesame oil and um what else do they put on it? Oh, and truffle oil. Out of here. Oh, you like tuna tartar? You like like tuna steak, like where they it's like a small piece, but they'll just outside of it sear it. Germans never sleep. Those two. Well, I don't think either of those sleep. I don't think either of those two sleep that much. One because he drinks piss all the time. The other one because he's probably doing drugs all the time. And actually, he lives in the Netherlands right now, I believe. Can you eat canned tuna? Is it good canned tuna or is it just like a can of tuna? Because look, there's a difference between water can of tuna and a can of tuna with oil or a good piece of tuna. You see you lucking out. See dispensaries ain't no dispensaries here, not yet. It's you can it's you can get medicinal here, but what's funny is I don't know that there's any. I don't know if there's a medicinal shop. I just know that it's legal. It's legal medicinally, and recreationally they just don't really fucking care unless you got like weight like that. I mean, it's not really a big deal here. Yeah, you looking out. See, like I have a pretty. You know what's funny is adding the Lotus statements to this. I have a nice little buzz where I would definitely smoke a J right now if I had one. Okay, in Louisiana exotic weed. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder. I don't. Since I've lived here, I just don't. I don't smoke like that, so I don't know. Like I've had some really decent strains here. I just don't know. I get them from somebody that like occasionally like if I'm just kind of being like, hey, what's up? You got any? Like, of course. Like, cool. It's always something good. I've only smoked a couple things that were weird here, and it was from people that were from out of town. So I don't know about the swamp weed or the backyard boogie down here. What's up, Journey? What you doing? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Pop tarts and slush puppy. Is that the style? Those sound fun. Yeah, we just talking random shit right now about sushi and weed and beer and wine. He said in Los Angeles you smoke differently. Yeah, it depends on yeah, it's always city related how people smoke, like how they get down, and it's also and then you got different crowds. I suppose if I wanted to hang out with people that smoked weed, I would walk in different circles. I just like to just stumble around, just noodle around in the world, and most people I know like they drink beer, and every once in a while they got some of this or that or whatever. And it's funny because I hang out with, well, like whenever I'm hanging out with musicians, like if we're in public we smoke, but like I don't really hang out with them at their cribs too often. Like I know them I know in public we hang out and like chief on something. But if I'm sure if I hung out with them more often at their domiciles, I'd probably be more of a pothead. Cherries. Oh, the best slush puppy is definitely cola, and it's cola because it doesn't stain your face. That's why. But all you have to do is mix a little bit of that cherry with the cola, that cherry cola slush puppy. That's that slushy. You live with a drummer? How awesome! How awesome is that? So you must live in a house then. Like you couldn't, like, it's hard to live with a drummer if unless you have a basement or it's a single family. Like living in an apartment building, then you gotta deal with your neighbors all the time. Yeah, I don't. I've lived with how many artists? I've lived with some artists. I've lived with a couple musicians. I always end up meeting musicians. It's really, and no matter where I live, I always end up meeting musicians. It's really interesting. I don't know. I guess that people just assume that I'm a musician. And they're kind of like, there's always that kind of something there. Like, nah, I just talk a lot of shit. It's the size of it. Every time you cooked food, have you cooked food? What are you talking about? Oh man, it's funny. That's funny. I don't know. This is let's see. Most of the places I've lived in single families. I've lived in townhouses. I've lived in apartments, small ones, big ones. I've lived in just about every kind of place you could live. And they all have their benefits and all their downfalls. Yeah, neighbors, if they're cool, that's different. That's different versus having that neighbor that's just got the cooking. That's crazy. I guess your cooking sucks, huh? You think your cooking sucks, or do you think it's that they're jealous that they don't have any? Maybe you should feed them. Maybe they're jealous that you didn't invite them over for music and for food. You never know. Maybe you're being a little too judgy here. You think that might be the problem? Judge Meister? Little Judgy McJudgerstein? Yes, I just said Judgy McJudgerstein. Oh, and I'll have a drink here. Which one? Let's do, what do I got? Got a cup and lime juice? Yeah, let's do a gimlet with a little bit of sugar. A little vodka gimlet with some sugar. Opa. Opa. Oh, I guess we know it's upgrade to some jaggery. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Need this thing here. Alright, I'm back. I'm back at the house. Uh-oh. That's good. Ah, that's hilarious. That sucks, archives. Oh, for real? Here, I don't know. Here it's interesting. The vent system is interesting here. Sometimes I can hear I just can't figure out what neighbor it is, but luckily on one side of me is the garbage room, so I don't have to deal with that. And the walls are not that thin, but my neighbor is a loud talker. It doesn't really bother me. He's older, but he's like he's older, so he's on the phone at odd hours. Like whenever old people talk, they get up early and they're just like, "Hey, 6 o'clock, let's talk on a Sunday." Cool guy, I like him. But the vents now, I don't really hear too much. I'm not like I can't make out their conversations, and I don't make a lot of noise too often. Like sometimes I'm a fucking dick. You know, it's too loud for. But I usually hear in my other place. You couldn't really hear anything, and I didn't really have neighbors. I had one neighbor that was a musician. That I'm sure that a couple times he was home, and he probably should have told me to shut the fuck up. He just didn't. So I lucked out there, but here, no, I don't really have that problem. Vodka gimlet. One of my favorite drinks. I'm not sure if they normally add any sugar to it. Now I'm tasting it. I think they do a little bit. You know what? It's time you say it's it's roided and synthetic. I would assume most of it here is as well. As much as people get into like, oh, here's some special fucking, here's what you get from the government, and I'm like, I don't trust it already. I'm like, why is it all so fucked up? Why can't I just get high like I used to? I just want to smoke a fucking blunt, drink a beer, and just fucking be like, cool. Now I'm just like, or just fall into the couch. I'm like, I didn't sign up for the extra special weed. I didn't need all the extra stuff. Well, this one's especially good for the other. I'm like, no, I don't. You're not. Just can I have just normal weed? Can I have just a normal weed? Just weed. What are you talking about? Like just the stuff just the normal stuff. I don't care if there's seeds in it. Let me pick them out. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't know about the styles that people be smoking because but I had a friend that went to weed college literally, Like, and I get it. I'm okay. I'm okay with weed that is hybridized to a degree. But then when you get into the GMOs and then people start doing different things with the plants, you don't know what the fuck's going on. And it's become too like. I remember I could just smoke with someone. I just smoke, just good, and have a drink, and everything's fine. Not psychoactive and make it too crazy. It's just, hey, get a little high, bro. Now it's like everything you smoke, I hit him like, keep that. I'm good. Can't even. Can't even. Arcane, I 100% disagree with you on GMO weed. 100% disagree with you. Genetically modified anything, hybridized is different than genetically modified, and there's a reason for this. And I'll give you the basic. I don't want to get into this whole conversation right now because I've done it 100 times. Genetically modified means someone is putting their dirty, filthy knives and hands and man's belief on something. To hybridize something, you have to ask the plant first. And if the plant would like to be hybridized with another plant, it will allow for it to happen. It will naturally occur that if I take this off of a tree and I put on a lemon tree, I can graft a lime and an orange and other citrus, a grapefruit on there, and it will feed it and it will all work. But I can't just go putting other things on there because it won't work. But if I go through the process of genetically modifying something to such a degree, yeah, GMO weed, fucking GMO anything, fuck off, basically. I'm not saying we haven't been modified. I'm not saying humans aren't modified to a degree. I'm saying I think we've been hybridized. I think most things are hybridized. I think that the genetically modifying is different than hybridization, and we'll leave it at that. What's up, Christopher Lee? What are you doing? Yeah, I mean, transmuting energy, like we're good. I mean, then in that case, I guess I'm terrible at it. I just think it's we're talking different natures of things. You got to talk. What shamans would always say, you cannot just go. It's okay. It's like this. Um, do you think the natural form of a plant life that you can chew on is the better form of a what you'd call a drug than the one that they've taken in a laboratory, cut up, and given you a little white pill for? It's very obvious it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It can't be the same thing. It isn't the same thing. I can take that leaf and something will grow of it. It's still living, but that salt, little salt pill that is one part of that leaf, it doesn't work. It does. You can't grow something from that. It drugs. Here's how the shamans told me. Drugs force themselves on you, where nature you can't overdose on it. It allows for you to interact with it. So once you get to genetic modification, you are forcing something. If you allow for interaction of something, that is not genetically modifying. While the genes might, after hybridization, become modified or changed or altered, that's perfectly fine with nature, and it's a process. It's not just fucking rip this apart, stiff this on this. Can you imagine you wake up one day, cut your arm off, and they're like, and here, have a fucking shark's fin on your arm. That's genetically modifying. If somehow through the course of you finding a shark in the ocean and just gave it like a good fucking, and all of a sudden you had a baby shark that came out, baby shark, da, 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 and all of a sudden it was like human shark hybrid kind of thing, well, that would make sense, but I'm pretty sure that ain't gonna happen. See the difference? uh, Alchemy is again something different. It still works. Alchemy and chemistry work. It's still working with nature. Chemical reactions still work, but it's not cut, burn, and poison. It's transforming something. What's up, excrement? What are you doing? Yeah. Hey, have fun with that one. I'm good on it. Don't get me wrong. I don't doubt that there isn't things that we consume that I don't consume on a regular basis that I've been. I don't doubt that it's probably done something to my genetic makeup. Good, bad, and different. I don't know, but I know that the whatever we consider the natural environment, it occurs the same way a seed would grow. That's what I how I see it. Hey, thank you, Christopher, jumping there with that radioactive iodine. Yes. Hybridized weed. What would the effect of that be? I mean, just again, arcane. I don't want to go any farther with this because it's just such a long conversation that I've covered. I don't know countless times. Hybridization is a natural occurring something that occurs on a natural level without forcing on a modification through. It's playing a game that doesn't seem to ever really work out for anyone. The world has not become healthier because people are making pharmaceutical drugs. Those are those are genetically modified things. You pull something apart of a plant and you turn it into something that is not living. It becomes an inorganic, synthetic version of real life. That's that's what's happening. Genes do become again modified through the process of hybridizing something. If nature, whatever that life force is, allows for the hybridization to occur, then gene modification will happen organically. When man cuts it and demands it and starts, ping, ding, 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 and putting it all together this way, and then all of a sudden they put a label on it, you can't, that thing will never reproduce. They have to keep doing that in a laboratory so that way it can have a registered trademark and someone can sell it. You can't sell nature. I mean, a tree grows and it grows. A strawberry is a strawberry forever. If you happen to put a tree together with a lemon and a lime and all this shit on it, well, I mean, it's still, those seeds are still producing off that grafted tree. So even in that grafting, it still takes nature to allow for it to occur. Take a fish, take a fish and graft it onto a grapevine. It's not gonna work, is it? But yeah, well, we can probably find in the future there's a fish with testicles made of grapes. I don't know. That would be gene modification through the use of inorganic, synthetic principles of man that are not following whatever the rules are, if there are, to nature. That's it right there. Subcosmic. Yeah, mutts rather than purebreds. Well, they are mutts. Yeah, so there is a way. See, this is a way of look. Go read Cosmic Sapphire. Go read Pottinger's Cats. They'll solve the entire dilemma for everyone. Pottinger's Cats. That has to do with the the declination of the pure organic principle of whatever species it is. Whether it's the perfect apple, the perfect human, the perfect gorilla, the perfect name anything, there is a perfected version. The only thing we can do after that is decay the power and the essence of what it is. And Pottinger's Cat goes into a study. It's called The Study on Nutrition. Highly suggest the book. And the only thing that happens, it will look different. This is what happens to a muddy dog. Just because you can take two different breeds, and if they work out together, it's not going to be so bad. But then you take and you start to specialize, and all of a sudden you got these dogs that can't breathe right, and their legs are too short, and there's all this weird shit that happens. It's a different thing. So like selective breeding starts to get into, it's in the middle there. Selective breeding can work, but selective breeding to something healthier. So most things that we see now are not the healthiest version of what they could be. What doesn't matter if it's a fruit, vegetable, a berry, a human, a dog. We're not finding on this realm the absolute essence of that being. We're seeing things that are a decayed version. People, and that's because of humans' interference with the natural process, and to decay something. by feeding and changing its state of being. If you feed a cat's milk from its mother, it will be good. If you start cooking that milk, which shouldn't be done, it will start decaying generationally until the mother from the last generation won't take care of the children anymore, the baby cats. But they can always take the baby cats and start refeeding it so they get away from the cooked foods and everything else. I'm not saying everybody should just drink their mother's milk. Great idea. I don't care how old you are, because there are ancient lived cultures where the children would breastfeed until older than you could possibly imagine. Like, we're talking like, you know, 12, 13, 14 years old. Breastfeeding. Still. I mean, are they taking other foods in? I'm sure. But I mean, you know, the food of the gods was mead, honey, chocolate, mother's milk. And you could always take milk from other species as long as you don't pasteurize it. Now we get into longer talks here. Cosmic. Whales are part of an ancient dog species. Interesting. There it is, Melissa. Institutional pipeline. We look at ourselves for a fake remedy. Yeah. Yeah. Like we just interfere with the natural process too much. Of course we're supposed to interact with nature. Of course we're supposed to be play with it and interact with it and support it and be, you know, depending on what you think of the word. See if I think of some good words here. You're supposed to look up. You're supposed to look after the land and the animals and things, and you should have husbandry up with them as well. But we try to modify everything too much. What we're supposed to modify is our housing structures to be more closer to what would be helpful to nature and ourselves, because we're part of it, right? What would be helpful to the processing of like how um, what materials should we use to build things? And should we live inside of boxes? Should we live in caves and go back to nothing land? Or should we understand what the technology is for and what tools we're making? And should we allow animals to prosper naturally rather than, you know, it's rewilding of whatever it is. You know, the rewilding the strawberry back to be an actual strawberry. You know, how good of an actual strawberry is the heirloom seeds. You know, and what does the heirloom human look like? What's the raw human look like? What's the organic human that is undomesticated? We don't know that. We know domesticated plants, we know domesticated animals, and we know domesticated humans. Cosmic, how do I feel about using tarot and oracle cards to find solutions and how you regenerate and change your spirits? How do you think I would feel about that? Should I grab a deck right now? Would you like me to? Weird things happen when tarot cards in my hand. I'm good with it. I don't 100% trust it, because I don't trust 100% of people that have tarot cards in their hands, because they're not empty of intentions, and they do have intentions of what they expect the cards to say. Where whenever I have cards, no matter what they are, I have no intentions on the card. I don't really care. I don't care what they say. I would hope it's something good. If someone asks me a question, hopefully it's something beneficial to them. And I don't know that I've ever given anybody a bad reading, because it's, you know, why do that? But as far as like advancing a species back to what it was, or like you're saying, I have no say over it. I don't know. Who cares? But it would have to be something that I would say that more than one person would have to do a reading and tell me what their answers would be. And if we could come to some sort of like, 10 people that are tarot readers find the same answer, then I think you're onto something. But I think if you have 10 tarot readers, you know, like people that don't know how to read astrology charts, or people that don't know what it means, they're not going to know what to read. Cosmic, that's awesome. Oh, nice. You do. That's wicked. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's the way to do it, really. Like if you can, it's kind of like it's like verifying the dream world, right? If people go into the dream world, the interesting thing about that is if we go, okay, tonight let's go connect in the astral realm. Let's go on a plane and get inside of an idea and who knows, you can't use too many clues, just like, okay, let's meet, like give an idea. And then if you remember it and recall, write down the dream, and if they link up, you go, oh, we were there. Now, the interesting thing about that is because of the way time functions, I could have that dream 2 days later. You could have had it 3 days ago. So that you'd have to match it up that way too. If you're really, really focused, you could do it at the same time. But that's a very, very small number of people that have that much power and control over the dream realms. And the thing is, when I say power and control, I mean to have the lucidity to remember going into the dream world. Oh, I need to meet up with so and so, and let's find out. Okay, and then you get there, and they say, hey, when you get there, let's here's what we'll do. Um, Produce a deck of cards and shuffle it, and then you tell me in the morning. I'll write down what I saw, and you write down what you saw, and they'll write and say. And if the same card pops up, but then you got to have that many people that are that lucid in the dream world to be able to not only get there, but to bring back the that type of that type of icon. Like that's tough to do. Matrix of weed and matrix of food. I'll use it to explore ancient sites. That's awesome. That's way cool. Matrix weed, matrix food doesn't feed the spirit. Well, it's time. I disagree with you slightly in this sense. Even the genetic, even as we were talking earlier, even the genetically modified shit does. Just like anything, I've eaten a lot of shit this winter. Like some of the worst food I've ever eaten in my life. I don't eat canned food, but I don't have a lot of finances right now. I couldn't afford to always be going to the store and getting exactly what I wanted, fresh and blah blah blah. So I ate a lot of shit. Did it spiritually defunct me or no? It didn't. Maybe because that where I'm in whatever advancement that I have. But I could see how most people couldn't get through that. But just everything can be transmuted to a degree. Even the GMOs can be to a degree. I just don't think it's a good path for people to go down. And I don't think it's a good path for people to be eating out of fucking tin cans either. Yeah, I'm all for, yeah, the looking in the past. Yeah, it's fun times. What's up, Danny? Queen of Farts is here. Cosmic, have I ever done that? No. I don't. There's a lot of things that I'm very versed at somehow. I just don't use it that often. I like magical things. I don't know. Like how to make sigils and make do magical works and read tarots, and I just don't use it that often. I think because I side mostly with there's a couple teachers out there that will tell you, here's all of the magic and here's why you shouldn't use it, because there's a token or a fee that you need to there's something that it costs you to do it. Now, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's not like I have to give up my, it's not like, people are like, oh, you have to get into the club, you gotta, have one of your family members killed, and then you'll be Illuminati. Like, no, to play with magic, there's a cost of doing business with magic. Here's an item, physical, could be mental, could be spiritual, but there's a game that's played there, energetically, and I prefer. See, now if I do that too much, when I have done these things too much, it becomes reality becomes a little bit uh like there's less surprises, and it becomes too like almost mundane. Like, of course I could get that. Of course I could, you know. And so I would side with I think a Manly P. Hall, where he says, "Here's all the forms of magic, and here's why you shouldn't use them too often." The mother that no, Christopher, I don't. Yeah, even if I had it, I mean, I'm on here right now, so I couldn't grab it for you. No, if it was on my, was it something I told on here, or was it on my Instagram? There might be a picture of it on my Instagram. You can find it from there, man. It's till 9. That's crazy. See, some of them, some people that are breastfed too long, depending on the mother, if she's overbearing and over motherly, meaning like there's bad reasons that could happen, but like in other situations, villages and priestcraft and kingships and witchery, there's a much different reason. They're building kings and queens, literally, quite literally. They're building another generation of princesses, princes, kings, and queens, and kind of like a queen bee gets one type of honey, a specific type that one only eats. It's different, and in fact, you can feed this to children, and this is in some of the ancient wisdom of the wisdom of milk and honey, land of milk and honey. It's not just the pineal and pituitary. It literally does have to do with eating the same food that bees, the queen bee would eat. I'm gonna go refill this thing up, and I'll be right back. You guys stay there. I'll be back in a moment. Well, there you go. Isn't that nice? All right. Cool. What's going on? Great. Hey, yeah, Christopher, I know what picture you're talking about now. If you remind me tomorrow, I can look through my phone for it, but I don't know the source story unless it's on the picture. And if I was on my video, then it's most likely on my Instagram. I can look for it. Uh, oh, I mean, I know exactly what video, what you're talking about. I know the video. Uh, it was something off Instagram that I looked up, and it was an actual thing. Actually, you know what it was? It was something on YouTube that it was a video I watched on YouTube. It actually talked about what she said. Excuse me, at the beginning. She's like, "We must save the youth. We have to save the." I was like, uh, "That's that old George Carlin, old George Carlin bit a bit about everybody's out here like save the kids, save the children." Like, fuck that. It's like is unreasonable as saving anyone, save the old people, save the children. It doesn't you don't get to just say that. Like it's like when you're driving around behind somebody, and on the back of their vehicle it says like baby on board. Like that's not my fault. That's your fault. Why don't you pay attention to what the fuck you're doing? Like, why now I gotta be more considerate of your life because now all of a sudden you have a child in tow because you're too stupid. You're driving around a minivan with two kids and a dumb wife. You know, like that's not my I don't need to do that. You pay attention to your motherfucking kids. that, that, that's just a little bit of an ad lib on George Carlin's bit. Oh yeah, I guess we could zoom in a minute here. Damien Eccles. It's time. If you know me on the Instagram, send it to me there because this video, I have too many videos right now that I don't really go back through my videos too often. You know, for sometimes I do if I'm feeling a little spent on listening to other people's voices, I'll go listen to my shit. But actually, what you talking about? Talking about the bit about fuck your stupid kids. Take care of your own goddamn little pieces of shit. Yeah. Uh-huh. No, for real. Everybody they're like, I just want everybody else to like pay attention. Like, no, you gotta like. Last week you was good. You know, last time I say we was good. Now all of a sudden you got a kid, everything changes. You gotta now the world's gotta change for you. That's such a not gonna say it's like a leftist um you know, a liberal leftist way of thinking because honestly, most of my life people would have called me a liberal in my thought processes. Now that I'm watching whatever's happening, whoever they change the labels up, I'm like, Jesus Christ, am I a conservative right now? Am I am I a Republican? But then I just have to laugh about it because I don't participate in politics other than to like look at both sides and go, okay. Like right now, I'd be if I was in politics, I would lean heavily towards the the right. I would lean heavily towards Republican. I'd lean heavily towards um, you know, conservative beliefs, whatever that is now, even though it changes all the time. But not really, not really. If I had to take a side in the argument, just to do it, they're more reasonable people. What you talking about? Actually, I haven't farted yet. I burped. I'm not farted yet. Oh, I mean, if he was still alive now, we were talking about this the other day. If there's two comedians alive, right? No, three. There'd be three. It'd be George Carlin, Patrice O'Neill, and Greg Giraldo. If those three are alive right now, there'd be the world would be set ablaze. Comedians out now, they tiptoe on some shit. Even the best comedians right now they still have firewalls for the kind of shit they can say. Patrice had zero. I used to think Louis C.K. and Bill Burr did. Now they have a little bit of a firewall for what they can say. Patrice, Greg, Giraldo, both of them died early, and Carlin, um, there was nothing off the table for any of them. So if those three did some shit, I don't know. Like I mean, what could you say? Like what could they possibly? Probably nothing much. Probably not. Probably not much different than the way most people feel. They would just articulate it in a much more absurd way. Like, if you, I mean, I don't know how many people here have listened to me. Like, they would say shit like I say, but obviously, I'm not gonna put myself in a class of that because, damn, that's fucking next level shit. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just like whenever I'm talking something, like people are like, oh, you can. People when they listen to me, they go, you can articulate it. I can't. You're saying something that I want to say, and I just don't know how to say it the right way. I'm like, yeah. And if they said it, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, that makes even more sense. And they would also they wouldn't this like whole cancel culture, whatever the fuck's going on, like this Mr. fucking potato head bullshit. I can't wait till they try to cancel culture Barbie, because I had to listen to this. Oh, oh. So I was like just scrolling. I forget who it was. There's somebody I really like. His name is Carl Vernon. He's a he's he's not British. He's Irish. He's Irish. Uh, Wrote some really cool books. And he does little snippets of him talking. Really hilarious dude to listen to. Very intelligent, wise guy. Carl Vernon. I highly suggest that. I think that was his name. Carl Vernon. Um. Anyway, so I was listening to something he was talking about, Mr. Potato Head or something. And so as I'm on that, there's like the whole thing to the side that's talking about Mr. Potato Head, and was somebody making fun of some. It was a liberal making fun of a conservative who had said it was Ben Shapiro. Okay, which I don't really. I can't stand his delivery and his demeanor. I kind of want to kick him in his fucking short little stupid head. But most of what he says, I pretty much agree with most of the time. But he was saying he was having an argument with somebody about Mr. Potato Head and saying this is so ridiculous. And the person that's responding to him, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he had a really big show, which is crazy because he sounded like such an ignorant twat, like a super twat. Like he was saying that he was making the assumption that you need to identify uh, as a potato head because it's not a mister, it's a he goes, it's a potato. And I want to argue with this dude. It's like, it's not a potato, it's a plastic fucking toy. So should we just call everything a toy? So Barbie can't be a girl no more. She got no genitalia. Ken can't be a fucking dude no more. And Mr. Potato Head cannot be a man. And I mean, should we go through everything and just disregard all of that for everything? I mean, of course it's a plastic potato, but they called it Mr. Potato Head, and his whole thing had a mustache. It was a Mr. Potato Head. I mean, what does a woman want to be called, Mrs. Potato Head? You don't want to be called Mrs. Potato Head. That'd be an insult. If you call someone a fucking potato head, it means your brains are mashed potatoes and you don't think too much. It's an insult on men, and they should have kept that. That's funny, Mr. Potato. That's funny. Calling somebody a Mrs. Potato Head, that's insulting. But let's gender neutralize it so that way neutralize the comedy. Man, what an unfunny world it would be if everything became without any sort of. I just can't wait till they try to do it to Barbie and Ken. I'll put it on the plate there. I think that's gonna happen next. It doesn't matter because that dude has just got makeup on. It's so funny. I wonder how many of them actually did later in life, or they're just doing it because it's funny. Would you dress up for TV, and do that for like $10 million a year? Would you do that? And you only have to be on TV once in a while, and then when you're off TV, you're just like back to your normal self, just going off and doing your own thing. Most people in Hollywood are that. There's not many people that are just out there all the time doing that thing. They jump on. Here's my job. Do this. I get paid a lot of money, and I go home and I'm out. I'm good. I can understand people why would they would do that. There's plenty of people that in movies will dress up, cross dress. Oh yeah, I seen that thing. Yeah, I can't. I'm not even see. But the thing is, it's it's so absurd. And the point of what the Ben Shapiro was saying, is that it's so absurd. But what his point was this: that the right, the conservatives didn't start it, and the person on the other side was saying, "Oh, he's so triggered and offended by it." And he's like, "No, he's triggered and offended if that's even what he is. He's not that. He's just responding to literally the right, the leftist, the liberal idea was to make that an issue. Nobody was saying anything about it. And then the left, his point was this, that the leftist, liberal media and all of this was making a big deal about it first. And so his response was, this is absurd. This is absurd. No one was. We could make fun of Mr. Payhead. We could do anything we want. That we could talk about Mr. Pay, but we don't need to neutralize the gender of it to satisfy people. We don't gotta talk about other. Fuck it. Just leave it as it is. Don't destroy history. Don't get rid of the history of the Redskins. Nobody's mad about that. The only people mad about that is people are trying to start a fight, and that tends to be like, and this is the popular narrative. It tends to be the liberal left side media. No, I don't know. I'm pretty much liberal in most everything I do. You wouldn't call me conservative, but listening to the logic of conservatives at this point, it's just like these fucking people. He's like, I didn't start. Ben Shapiro was like, I didn't start this. I didn't say anything about fucking getting rid of. I didn't say anything about cancel culture. It was completely the other. If there is for them it's the left and right. For me, looking at it from here, I'm like, y'all's idiot. But I mean, if I had to make an argument for something, I'll probably take on this side over here because you're making no sense right now. Actually, there's nothing immoral for you. I'm see, that's what. So I'm liberal in that way. I find ethics and morals to be, horseshit for the most part, because every situation is situationally different. However, would the smart idea be to be like, I am outraged by the racism of books that were written in. If you're gonna cancel Dr. Seuss, cancel the Bible. You ever read that? You ever read that fucking thing? Gonna have to cancel the Bible. Get rid of that real quick. Have you ever read that thing? That's horrific. It's one of the most horrific things I've ever read in my life. You got people cutting off people's foreskins. Yep. You think is that good to be telling people cut people foreskins off? Getting rid of movies now. Getting rid of. Hey, I'm just saying. You wouldn't do stupid shit for money? I mean I wouldn't either, because I've already had those opportunities to do stupid shit for money. I mean, I'm like, hey, eat this hamburger off the ground for $10. I'm like, no, I'll give you 100. No, yeah, I'll give you $100,000 to eat that fucking hamburger off the ground that's made of fucking rat shit. No. Be like, eat that rat shit hamburger off the ground because it'd be funny. I'd be like, perhaps. I would do things for the humor of it, not for the dollar in it. Yeah. It just doesn't, like, if it got me dollars for doing it, so be it, I guess. But would I really eat fucking a rat shit burger off the floor? No. Have I done dumb things? Yes. But, yeah. Not because somebody's like, I dare you to do this. I'm like, I don't fucking know about what you're talking about. Yeah. If you do things for love and funny and that kind of thing, I think that's important. Just come out of that place. I don't know odds on it at all. Is it something? Is it like just a game that you just play, or is it like a card game, or is it like it's like one of those little box games with the silly questions in it? But hold on, it's time. Is it a vocal game, or is it something that literally you can buy on like an Amazon or something where I could read it? I could just look it up though, right? It's like I got what games I got over here? Oh, you make it. Okay, well there you go. That's not too bad. You make a dare. What are the odds that you would do this? It's not like it's kind of like would you rather walk in on your parents having sex, or you know fall asleep while taking a dump at a party? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of weird shit. But what are the odds of either one of these things happening? Odds on this, yeah. Oh, so you're saying, but there's actually something involved with here. So it has to be like a reasonable dare. has to be a reasonable dare. It can't be something like, go break into someone's house and fucking stab him in the face with the fucking dildo. Like, what are the odds you would do that? Could be anything. But you can't. But you're saying if you pick up the same number, they have to do it. Like, I dare you, and if I get the same number, I dare you to go. Hey, go find my dead grandmother. Unbury her body and have sex with her in a tree. You know, like what? I got the same number. You got to do it. Like, where's your grandma at? What city she live in? You got. Okay, well, but hold on, but the game's gonna still get the game's still gonna get drunk where somebody's gonna say some wild shit that is an unreasonable ask. It's an unreasonable bet. Do you have to take the bet? You know what I'm saying? Okay, like obviously if we keep this to minimal odds, like okay, what I mean, what if you're in the same room, it would have to pretty much apply to something reasonable in the room that you could do. What's the difference? What's the chances that you would shit in your hand right now, and go throw it in the toilet? You know what I mean? You mean like right now? Like just do it right now. Like you can't leave the room. You just shit in your hand and go. That's a pretty crazy bet, but it's moderate. Couple more drinks, couple more drinks. That bet turns into okay. Run down the hallway. Uh, you know, you shit on everyone's doorstep. You know, ding dong, ditch the entire neighborhood. While streaking nude. Like gamble on that is like, is it? Somebody's gonna say that and then be like, million to one. Would you have to say you would take that bet? Because I mean, in a reasonable state of mind, but you'd have to go. There's no way that would ever happen. But then the other person, if they're that drunk, like it's still not gonna happen either way. Because that's not even a reasonable thing to do. How celebrities and radio stars are being paid to say they have the. Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Christopher. Yeah, yeah, they do. They do. Uh, okay, so it's time. You're saying to down my drink. You'd say it's 3 to 1. Okay, so okay, here let's play this. It's time. Let's play this right now. To down my drink right now. It's 3 to 1 odds. So if I say I'll take that bet, which means I'll just do it, or that if you draw a card that you have to do it because if you had a drink and I had a drink, it'd be like down your drink and you'd say 3 to 1 odds. Are you saying you would down your drink for 3 to 1? And how do we make the gamble work? Because that's a reasonable bet. Because right now, considering the situation, I'd say 1 to 1 odds. Like if it was just for the bet, like 1 to 1 odds. Flip a quarter. Who's gonna do it? Because it's not. Because there's no really. There's if I drink this right now, the only loss to me is I might just get too drunk to do this video for like another couple hours. I'll just be like, fuck this. And I'll be like, I gotta go, guys. Or just say some random stupid shit. Be like, shut the fuck up, Zen. That would be the only downfall to that for me. So the odds would be pretty much, I don't care. But for you, it'd be like, holy shit, maybe. But see, for me, in that sentence, you'd have to change the odds for you because you're not on here. There's nothing really stupid you could do. Like you can't really. Your face is on the camera. You're not gonna like vomit. You're not gonna. Not that I would. I'm just saying. There's like. We'd have to change those odds there. But is there dice that we roll? Is there? If I say 100 to 1 odds on something, how do we know who has to do it? Is what I'm getting at. If I say 100, if I say okay, I bet you won't drink your drink, 100 to 1 odds, and you say I'll take that bet, right? Am I following this? Then what is it to figure out who wins? Do we throw dice? Do we have a hat full of numbers? Do we put our thumbs in our mouth and then stick them in each other's ass, and whoever farts first has to suck their thumb again? I don't know. Oh, 3, 2, 1, and say number 1 to 3. Oh, okay, so you're making the odds. Okay, but you're making it based upon so you would never really choose anything too crazy because if it's 3, 2, 1, pick a number. So you say we count down from 3, 2, 1, then say a number between. So it's basically it's a 33 to 66% chance. So you say 3, 2, 1, and then we go 3, and we both say 3. Then it reverses. So it's a 33% chance that you do what you said I would do. I'm kind of following what you're saying here. If we played it a couple times, I would get it. So there'd be no good reason to make a really crazy bet. Can you go, no, I won't even take that bet? Is that part of the game? This sounds like fun. Like if I just say something really, really unreasonable. Like we're each sticking our thumbs in each other's butt, like I said, and then we'll just have to suck our thumbs afterwards. Like not our thumbs, but you have to do that. Like if I win the bet, hey, a win for me because I get your thumb in my butt, but then you got to suck it. Ugh. Would you take that bet? That's a disgusting bet. And do I really want your thumb in my ass? No. But okay, how about this? You stick your thumb in your own ass and suck it. Let's make it that way. Would you take that bet? At 33, at 1 out of 3 chance that you got to do it? I don't think you would. 1 out of 3, it's double for me to do it. But it's right there for you. And the only thing I don't like about this game is the 3, 2, 1, and then you say something. It's like playing rock, paper, scissors. You can cheat at that game. You can cheat at 3, 2, 1. You just wait for the person to start to say something. If your even ears are even tuned, you already know what they're gonna say. You win every time. So we'd have to change that somehow. You'd have to change the odds on that. It would have to be. I think you just have numbers in a hat somehow. That kind of thing. I'm down to play the game sometime though. Excrement, never play a game of Dare with me. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, well, here's the thing about the Dare game. It's like I don't like what are my limits to like what I would do on a Dare. There's plenty of things that are just completely moronic and bizarre that just not a good idea. But there's some things that I would probably do that you'd be like, that's fucking not. You would probably have a hard time trying to take the bet. But I don't know. Like I'm not that fucking crazy dude. But like, I dare you to fucking grab a turtle and a snapper turtle and stick your dick in his mouth. Like that's something funny to say, and it's something even if you're drunk, you might. I'll bet you that you won't do that. I'm like, ooh, it's not a good fair. It's not a good. Nobody wins there. Nobody wins there. 2 hours later, thumbs in someone's asses. Oh man. Speaking of, we could go right onto Zoom and start this game right now because it would make more sense. And also, we could, yeah. Also, even if we don't play the game, I can play some music and we can still interact. And we're on the YouTubes. Not that they care that I do this especially later in the show. It's like nobody. Are you allowed to do this? But there's only gambles and possibilities of music. I'm just saying. Oh, and a couple other people asked me, anyways. Maybe get them to play. I know who will play. Hey, where did everybody else go? As soon as we start talking about like Dare games, what happened to where you at, Danny? Danny, you wanna play a Dare game? Chris really dipped, unless he's just busy. Kabar said she wants to Zoom, but yeah. And we don't worry, we're not gonna camera shy. You don't even gotta put your fucking face on camera. Just talk. You realize how camera shy I am, right? It doesn't appear that way, does it? I'm very introverted. I'm shy. I just assume you're all robots, and you don't even exist anyway. So I'm just talking to myself. That's just about what it is. That's how I get over myself. It's not like I'm picturing people in their underwear or anything like that. Well, fine. Nobody wants to have the possibility of thumbing their own anus. Ora gato, Mister Roboto. Or is that like? Is that like a? No, that's a grotto. I was gonna say oral in a grotto. I don't know. What time are we looking at here? Oh, fucking thank you, Melissa. You're the best. Actually, you're pretty much up there with the best because you help me out as much as anybody. I don't know what happened to all my old friends that used to be around. They don't come around no more. I don't know what happened to them. There are actually a couple of people that used to be around a lot. I don't know what the fuck. Hmm. Trying to think of. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember their screen names because I know them. I know their actual names. Maybe it's just the times that I'm doing shows. Oh, okay. I got you now. Hey, okay. Well, I don't know about the get you hurt thing. Someone's gonna get feelings hurt or be embarrassed somehow. Okay, now okay, so now you're giving a 2 to 100 range. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Cause then no matter what, you got a 1 in 99 shot. So so you're saying is if I would start by daring you something. And if I if we pick different numbers, I have to do it. There's no reason to play that game then. This sounds like the dumbest game ever. Maybe you just said it backwards. If okay, I'm sitting here, you're sitting there, and I dare you to do something. It is a 99% chance that I have to do it. My dare would be like, I'm just going to sit here. There'd be no reason to bet that. Maybe you said that wrong. Because there's no, there's no benefit for me making any bet. Because no matter what the bet is that I make, I have to do it. 1 out of 100 chance of you doing something? I'll be like, here, what kind of stupid shit will I do? I wouldn't choose anything. I'd be like, I'll pick my nose. Cool. Okay, you want? Oh no. Okay, here's something crazy. One out of 100 chance that you'd have to do it. The odds are not in the favor of this game being. See now, and that's not the right range, or this is not exactly how you play it. It seems like it wouldn't be fun because no one would ever. There would maybe once in a party, maybe once in a party, maybe would anybody ever have to do another person's dare, and that other person's dare would be so benign. I'll look it up. Excrement place him. What's up, Skull? What up? What is going on? Thanks you for the dollars and cents, man. That was you, right? I didn't realize that you changed your name. Did you change your name? I didn't realize you went from to the Eminem. Is Eminem you? Okay. Okay. I look at. Okay. Good. I fucking thank you. I appreciate that. You literally did pay for. You paid for my alcohol this evening and some snacks. Yes, you did. Okay, it's time. Look at I'm just gonna look it up one time and then I'll have to play it one time. I hear what it would. I hear how the game could be fun, but the just the statistics odds of who you're like you're choosing yourself to do it every time. If the odds was like if I bet you that you won't do something, I'm gonna increase what I might gamble for you to do. Like if I say, hey, I don't think you do something slightly crazy because there has to be an off chance that I have to do it, and in 1 out of 100, I'm gonna choose something really crazy because because you won't. I mean, you can just not take the bet, right? If you got a 99% chance of having to do it, I would just choose the biggest thing in the world. I would choose you to like fucking shit your pants while you're sitting there and just sit in it. And if you had to take the bet, I win every time. 1 out of 100, no one wouldn't play that. Yeah, earlier today, Christopher. Yeah, I seen Stan earlier. Wait, was it Gary or Stan? No, I seen Stan earlier. I seen Christopher a couple. Yes, Christopher. I seen Gary a couple days ago. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, it's time. I think I'm starting to get what you're saying. You say to me, if you guess a number between 1 and 5, you'll drink. Um, you drink my piss. And so then the gamble is, okay, I get what you're saying. Now, okay, so you give the odds first. What are the odds of this? So it seems so you have to come up with the question and the odds that seem reasonable to you. And then I can choose to take the gamble or no. I see what you're saying now. I got you. So in that scenario, if you said 1 and 5, I would take that bet because I don't care that I would drink my piss. And if you had to drink my piss, that's fucking funny. And also, it's really in all not that gross knowing each other. Like, um, and there's not really a bad outcome to that. It'd be funny for anybody else, but it'd be in that chance, it'd be a 20% chance that you had to drink my piss, and an 80% that I had to. So 80% that I'd have. So 1 in 5, 1 in 5 times, right? I would definitely take that gamble. Just because that's a pretty decent probability for the humor value for you to drink my piss. I'm starting to get what you're saying now with how this game works. Yeah. Now I think I got you. So you'd have to the odds of some if you the crazier the I got you. I got now I get how you're saying it. Because at first I just thought you meant like that always the odds is 1 in 3 of whatever the fuck it is. I got you now. I think I got this figured out. 100 would be a crazy dare. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, downing a drink would probably even less odds than that because who wouldn't really, if you had that kind of party. I mean, it depends if somebody has a big drink and you got the little sip left. Yeah, I see how it works now. Yep, I got you. I got you. I still think that the saying the number afterwards has still. I think that part of the game needs to be altered just slightly. That's all. If I got to give my critique, I like the game. But I think there's still too much of I still think there's too much of an odds on the person that if you're making the bet, you can still be a split second later if you pay attention. Yeah, I totally on board with that. It sounds fun. I would do this. It's an upgraded version of Truth or Dare. Yeah, hey Christopher Lee, you asked me about Stan. Did you? Why did you? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I have his email, or it's just you were just curious. Do you want to play it right now on here, or do you? Didn't you already say you're too embarrassed? Didn't you say your face is so stupid you don't even want to be on camera? My face is already stupid. Come on, I've always put my face on camera. How do we do this? 30 minutes later, on top of a boss naked. What's up, Ripe Soul? Hey, Ripe Soul, you got here right in time because we were just talking about playing this game that I just heard about, and it's called What's the Odds? And you ask somebody to do a crazy dare, and then you put the odds on it, and then you both guess at a number inside of the odds. And if you get the same number, the other person has to take the dare. And if you get the opposite, if you get different numbers, you got to take the dare, right? So the onus is on you to make a dare reflect its odds equally, you know. Yeah, there we go. See, yeah, I can. It took me a while. It's difficult sometimes reading and trying to stumble through that and make sense completely now. So, um, it's always jokes. So you and Ripe Soul, what's going on in your world? We might go over to Zoom in a second. I don't know if any of these other fools will come through and play this game. We have, and we're in different places, so the bets will have to be a little different than it would be in real time in person. But we'll get it figured out. punch your punch yourself repeatedly in the nuts. You shits. What? That'd be a pretty funny bet. I mean, I would probably leave the shit off the end because that would change the odds quite a bit. I know I was watching some early kung fu videos, and what are the odds on the shitting the pants part? Oh no, I think that it just these are that'd be a that's a stupid bet right there off the bat. But I was watching a video on these Shaolin monks that would repeatedly punch themselves in the nuts or take a brick and smash it into their nuts because they practice the art of sucking their testicles back up into their body so they couldn't damage themselves. Um, would that work for the everyday person? No, because they can't do that. But with enough drinks at a party, most guys would kind of take that bet because it's funny. Oh, you just saw that? Well, you had to assume that was going to happen. They force your hand in the other direction. That was the move. So like if we say you can't have something and people go, I want that. They hadn't thought about that motherfucker. And wasn't it just his birthday? Wasn't some crazy shit? Whatever. Maybe the company was selling a new movie that's coming out. They're trying to judge. Uh, um, they're playing the game. What's the odds? How many people will how? What is it, like $6 or $7 on Amazon? All time highs, and like somebody's like, how dare they? I love that stuff. Oh, I'm gonna buy the rest of them and see how racist they are. Not that we'll find any like real racism in it. They'll just find that like when were they written? That's the old Bill Burr joke about like with the old dude that was like in the 90s, it was in the 80s or 90s. He owned a basketball team, and he was talking to his, I believe it was his wife, but he was like an old dude, and he owned billionaire, has a trophy wife, and he says, you can hang out with them, but just don't. And he's talking about like a basketball player, old white dude, young, good-looking basketball player. So he's obviously got a little racism in him, right? Plus, he's got a younger trophy wife. Like he's like, and Bill Burr was like, the dude just lived too long. He's not a full on racist. He's just that would have been a reasonable thing to say in the 50s, in the 40s. He just lived way too long. And I think Dr. Seuss's books probably have a little bit of maybe just shades of what you would say, just words you would say at different times. I mean, think of how many books they've tried to get rid of because they had words in there that, at the time, were a general part of our vocabulary, our the way we our vernacular, if you were, if you must, as it were, as you were. Our racist content. That's so funny. I never even would have considered it. It's fun, fun. Could you imagine how many people on the planet, like honestly, is there anyone that you know, anyone anywhere that hasn't said what you'd consider off color, rude, racist, sexist comments? There's no one. Even the nicest people I know, the most carefree, interact with everyone. Every fucking single one of them has said something that I wouldn't consider it racist or sexist. I'd consider it racial or sexual. You know, it's a different word, but yeah, you could always, and I think that's what that is. It's like you say something at the time, like shit. Like if you're around certain people, you can say certain things. If I'm around my melanated friends, depends on which ones they are. I can use different words. Certain white people, I won't say certain things around. It's just what it is. Certain things that you can get away with in certain places and groups. And then you have people that will just, they don't give a fuck and they just say whatever the fuck they want, whatever the fuck they want. Because it's like, because what it is it's like I don't have anything against everyone. I don't hate anyone. I hate everyone. You know what I'm saying? You know that joke? That's one of the oldest ones in the book. It's like I'm not gonna be racist. Like, well, how lame is that? How lame is it to be racist? How lame is it to be like a sexist? How lame is it to be any of these whatever isms, these ists, right? I hate everyone all the same. Don't worry, I got jokes for you too. You wanna make fun of your grandmother? Well, I'll work with your dead grandmother. I'll work with your, pick a race, pick a species, pick whatever the fuck you want. I ain't a species this. I'll make fun of animals too. You know what I mean? Yeah, skull and bones. Yeah, well, there's a see. That's the thing is, there's a difference between racist humor and racial humor. Most people that are comedians make very, very racial humor, borderlines racist, but because they're comedians and they already know. I know these people. I've hung out with these people. I've tested these jokes in front of people that are from these religions, races, creeds, backgrounds, sexes, whatever, and they're like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. Does it gonna work every night with every crowd? No. It was Imus fucked up. He got canceled a long time ago, and Patrice O'Neal came online and he did a show. Patrice O'Neal and Imus when he got canceled for calling a basketball team a bunch of nappy headed hoes. Can Imus, some old white dude, get away with calling a black basketball team, women's basketball team, a bunch of nappy-headed hoes? I thought it was funny. Patrice thought it was funny. And he stood up for the joke. He's like, not every joke's going to be funny. It's not going to win in every room. But you're supposed to, as a comedian, as what we do, you get the opportunity to do it. You mean nothing really but harm by it. And some woman, if you've never seen it, I highly suggest looking this up. Look up Patrice O'Neal defends Imus on, I forget what show it was on. It was a Fox and Friends or something. And there was this woman that he was talking to, and she was just like, oh, well, the world we're changing here, and we cannot. And he's like, who are these people? He's like, just like, are you who are these people you're talking to? Oh, the world's changing, and this we will not handle this. This is completely blah blah. And she goes, I remember when you told this joke about, and starts to go in on Patrice. And he starts laughing. He goes, "How dare you?" And then he goes, "That's not the joke. That's not the," and he starts to go in on this really hilarious joke. And you see the guy that's interviewing the both of them start laughing, but tries not to because he knows the joke is hilarious. But it was like borderline, like just off the charts, ridiculous. Yes, yes. Yeah, so comedians use what would be considered racist humor most of the time. It's like, but it's racial. It's racial humor. It's easy. It's a good go at it. Watch watch a black dude walk into, especially if they're good at it, right? Watch a black dude, a comedian, walk into like, I don't know what's a white place, Ohio, Oklahoma City, I don't know, and he'd be like, "It's really white in here, ha ha ha," and then the whole crowd goes wild, and you do it the other way around too. Watch, there's some great white comedians that walk in a really black room and like, and if your vibe is there, they get it. Because it's never like that, because nobody's ever on stage doing a joke that they're really actually mad about. They're not like, "Oh, this fuck these ooh." Who did a good joke on it? He's like, oh, I fucking forget who it was. He was talking about, he's like, "You know what, calling people like Chinese, calling them like a chink or like yellow bellied or something, not so difficult of a thing." He's like, "I always thought that it would be more rude to call them like, you ever if you what if you said something to them that was like a, you ever go to a Chinese restaurant? These golden dragons, like use like a." I thought that was fucking genius. It was like, was it Bill Burr that did this? No, forget who it was, but super funny. Could have been Burr. But yeah, that's the kind of humor people need in their life, because it's like, it's not supposed to it's not supposed to build up barriers between people. It's supposed to break comedy's supposed to break barriers down for people. Their mental attitudes of who they think they are, and who the fuck do you think you are? Their ego, their identity. You're supposed to tear that shit apart. And you just go, and, I, like it's like when somebody's if you know who I told this the other day, but you guys are new here, I think. Kevin Hart, little black dude, comedian, bunch of movies. Patrice, big, one of the greatest comedians ever, across the board. Anybody in comedy land would tell you so. And Rich Voss, this white dude, probably New York City kind of nasally, but both good comedians. Patrice and him sit in the back of the room. Kevin Hart's just starting out comedy, and he's like in Boston Comedy Club, and he's like, there's not a lot of people there. He's sitting there, he's like, "I'm bombing," and telling jokes, and no one's laughing. And he's like, literally, Patrice and Rich Voss found phone books and threw them at him on stage. And Patrice said, "Pick up the phone book and call someone there who cares about what you're saying." That's a fucking genius joke. He's like, dude, it's like one of the first times. He's like, "I already know who Patrice is. I already know who Rich is," and he's like, just destroyed me. And he gets up and does the show again. But that's tearing part of someone's like ego of thinking they're funny, right? Think about somebody's like ego, like them thinking they can identify with you think your identity. People that like have their flags flying. Like, you got an Italian flag. I'm Italian. I'm proud of my Italian. No, you can't be proud of something you didn't do. I don't care what flag you're flying. You're proud of being Irish. You can't. You didn't do that. It was just because that's where your parents were from. Until you do something yourself, you can't be proud of it. And so that's just like, that's like breaking apart people's. Did I happen to choose to be like looking like this? Did you want to look like the way you looked? Probably not. Most people would probably rather look a different way. But if you didn't get to choose, you can't be proud of something. You can't let it bother you too much either. So anyways, I gotta explain comedy away here. You want to play? You want to play the dozens right now? Is that what you said, Christopher Lee? You play the your mama jokes, the dozens. March. Oh, he was alive for that long. I didn't realize he was around that far. Yeah, it's time you say it again. It's on. I would say whatever zero odds are for a bunch of reasons. It doesn't it it doesn't do anything for my channel. It doesn't do anything for me. It wouldn't make me more money. If that cost you something, it would only cause me chaos in here. It wouldn't let me help people, and it wouldn't make me more money. And I don't like and I don't like the idea of if that were to make me money somehow, I'd consider it. I'd consider making odds on that bet. But I think it'd be more, if you had that much money to give, which I think would probably cost you quite a bit. But then I got to deal with bots that are going like they're gonna ask me anything important. I'm gonna just say weird shit. Great show, good job, you're the best. Hey. And I'm like, this fuck. And then I won't know who's actually real, who's not. And like, what kind? Is anybody gonna ask anything important today? Uh, can I do that on a different channel? I'm happy. I would do that on a different channel. If you want to buy that for me. Oh, there you go. Here, how about this? If you really mean that, because you said that before, buy me enough subs on a few different channels. I'll open them up so that I can do live videos. And that way, if I break a channel or blow it up or do something stupid on it, it doesn't really matter. And also, I can keep my humorous discourse for one channel, and then I can keep one to talking to people about like, here's philosophy and psychology. If you'd like to know more about it. And other ones I'll get into, I don't know, the nutrition and health and all that. And other ones will do have adventure times. I would take that if you're offering, and that wouldn't take a lot to do. I would just have to open up a few more channels. I do have a backup channel I just don't use, but 100,000 subs wouldn't do anything for me, man. It just wouldn't be worth it. Oh, it's time. Okay, so I just got two crypto wallets, and somebody else said to get a different one. So I'm already confused on even how I get the money out of the wallet, right? Like from one place to another. So, and somebody sent me crypto, and it because I didn't tell me that I got any of it sent to me, I had to hit a different button to accept it, and then it was. I mean, somebody sent me like, it was like $5 in crypto or something. So he got the money back anyways. I just didn't receive it. But like I'll try to figure it out tomorrow with wallets. Like that's the only thing I can't figure out. Like how, okay, once I have the wallet, like how do I can I transfer this to like an actual expendable bank account, or do I just only whenever I'm talking to people like, hey, we'll just trade crypto? Hoo. Can I actually do something with this? That's what I've been trying to turn into like on PayPal. So money turns into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin turns into money. So it's spendable. So whenever people say that, I'm like, just do it on there. And then I got that. So then I got two more wallets, and I haven't got any money on there yet, but or any Bitcoins or whatever crypto. I'll try to talk to you. I'll try to talk to you about it like in person or whatever. Like, just tell me what the fuck is the good one to do, because like as long as like I don't want to have to like link it to like my bank accounts and shit, because I'm not trying to have that get fucked up. I just want to be able to take that and put it into my PayPal, which then through like a couple sources I can get it into spendable currency, or that I can trade that and get something out of it that I could like somebody said get Dash Wallet. That looks like I can spend it somewhere, or it will like. So I don't know. It's a little. Still, I don't want to get into all that right now. But thank you, and I'll take you up on that. But Chris, really, what if I? It costs $20 for 100,000 subs of fakeness for real. So it will just say that I have 100,000 subs, and then like 4 people are commenting. That's weird. That's interesting. That's interesting to like if I had like 6,000. See that, but that would also screw up like my actual views, right? And how long somebody viewed for. I find that kind of important, and like just in one sense of like, I think I have like over a million and some views on my videos, and something like, I don't know, 600,000 hours of people watching me, which is a fucking lot. And I don't even I can't even digest that. But if my numbers get skewed and I'm like a fucking robot's on there for 1 second, it changes the numbers and I don't really know who's paying attention. We'll talk about it, but what if I had tomorrow's news today? And I mean, I've talked about that before, and like creating your world tomorrow. I like doing it sometimes. I don't like doing it all the time. Hey, time. I'm telling you, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to. I'm willing to accept that, and I'd accept that on my other channel, and see if that does anything for my other channel, because that channel I don't really. I only got a couple of videos on there, and if it turns into like other people like, oh, this person has all these views, let me go pay attention to what he has to say. I'll see if I can change that into like actual humans that will give me the monies. I'm down for that. Like if it only costs you that to do it, oh, I'll take you up on that. I would have done it myself. I don't know. Afroman, what's up? Yeah, I just wouldn't want that on this channel. That's all I'm saying, you know? Yeah, I'm down to do that, because as long as the crypto isn't connected to anything that, like, if you gave me a few bucks and people gave me money and it's in there, I just I just still haven't figured out. This is the point I'm trying to make. Even with the wallet shit, I haven't figured out how to access it. And I've listened to so many people try to explain it and what you need to do, and I just don't want it like I don't want it like it'd be wasteful to have people like give me something of theirs if they know how to access the shit. Like, my thing was always this: if that crypto is money to you and you can get it out, just give me the fucking money, and then I can put it into a thing. But if people are saying use the crypto, I'm like, well, what's the catch here? I've been tripping on that for years now, and I've had nobody able to explain to me very well of how they give me like a 20-minute version of how crypto works, and I'm like, I've already heard this. Yeah, we'll zoom one day. But I hear you. I get it to a degree. It's just not a smooth transition from, like, somebody sent me. I told you, somebody sent me crypto through um I guess Cash App, and it was like, it didn't notify me. Then I had to hit a different button to make it happen. So maybe Cash App works for me. I'll try it again. I'll see if somebody can send me something on there. I'll just have to, like, maybe I turn my notifications off or something. Mm. One is on to the next bullshit that we're talking about here. Because I mean, no, this is interesting. Like, I'm totally down to get into crypto and do all this. I just don't want to. I don't want it to be like a waste of anybody's coins, and I don't want it to be like fucking with my finances. Where I don't want it like direct access to, here's your bank, and a little bit of cash that I have in there, somehow, like, I don't just know how it works, and it just kind of gives me a little bit of give me the heebity jeebities. And Afroman, the Bring Me Tomorrow's newspaper. I never heard him say that. That's interesting though. It does sound like something he would say. Hmm. Okay, well, I mean, if you want to start by doing something dumb like that, I'll tell you, even if we got to play a gamble on it, I'll take that gamble, but not on this channel. I'll just let you do it on my other channel, and if it works on there, then fuck. Then I can just use that. Maybe open up another account and then just connect that channel to a different account that's not. You know what I'm saying? And I got my account to connect to that page, that other YouTube brand of me. So yeah, I'm down with that. I just I was, for me, it was always kind of like, 'cause sometimes I go to people's pages and I'm like, damn, it's mad big. Why do they got, why does this person have 100,000 views? Why do they got this many subs? I'm like, did they buy these? Because this person is not that smart. But then you know what they do have though? They got like a really fancy shit behind them, and they're like digitally this, and they're like computer blah blah blah, and the key to the thing over here, and I'm like, but what you're saying is stupid, like at least stupid, if not dumb. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we'll fuck with it, man. And I'll even in return, if it does work out, like, hey, it works out, I make some dough on it. I mean, that's pretty much what I would do that either way. Like in return for my awesomeness, just put $5 in crypto for me, and then take that out and get it to me in the future when it's worth $100. Versus if you somehow, if that uh whatever, $20 for robots on a different channel turns into a bunch of dough for me. Oh, I'm fucking. Oh, of course I'll send you. But fuck, I'm not trying. I don't. None of this for me is to be rich. I would just like to have less trouble financially. I'd like to actually, since I've been much younger, um, like, there was a time I was like, okay, you have a bank account and you don't have to think about months and groceries and shit like that. And now it's like, it's like, am I gonna suck a dick for crack? No. Am I gonna, you know, what would you do to get paid? Do you want to mow a lawn for $5 an hour? No. I'd rather sleep under a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not worth it. But anyways, my point was, yeah, if that earns me some money, if we work that out, and that's something that seems funny to do, I'm gonna do that, because once I have a certain number of subs, I can do live shows. And my other channel, I don't have enough subs to do live shows. I can post anything I want. So that would earn me enough to do live shows. Christopher Lee, why do you ask me simple questions? Would I use it to help people? Christopher Lee, let me ask you a question. What the exact fuck do you think I've been doing with this channel for the past how many years now? What do you think I've been doing? Do you think it would just change? Do you think it would change? Like, monetarily? Monetarily? Monetarily, would I help people? Of course. I mean, I would stabilize my own realm first, like what I need and what needs to be considered for a little while. But of course, I invest into people. I invest in people all the time, even with nothing. If people need something, yes, I always give cash away. I give my money away. I give my clothes away. I give my knowledge away. Of course. 100% in a week. Nice. Oh, at times like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I get things, I get gifts all the time, but I give shit away too. And so I kind of just stay at this weird place of like, I used to have more than enough, and then there was time I didn't have enough, and now I kind of stay at somewhere in the middle. But it's kind of on the recently it's been less than enough. Like, would I've liked to not eat like shit this winter? Yes. Would I've liked to not worry most times about like, hey, am I gonna be able to fucking pay rent and not be homeless tomorrow? Yeah, that's. I try to avoid even considering that. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to deal with that anxiety. Because that anxiety will just, it would. I can only imagine. I just go. I just go. Either it's going to happen or it's not. When it's out of my hands, it's out of my hands. But as far as like what I have, like somebody's like, I need something, or do you have it? If I have $10 and I don't need to use it, somebody asks for $10, here the fuck you go. I don't know. That's kind of where I lived. Yeah, but even in a week, and dude, but it's time in a week. That's fucking dope. I haven't made that kind of money since I used to build houses. That was years ago. Well, that was a lot of work though. I'd rather have passive income. I'd rather I'd rather be able to do this differently and not have to think about making money off of doing this. That would help people more freely if I did have a passive income route, off of something. But I just want to make sure that that's accessible, that I can use it. Like just because I got a bunch of tokens in some sort of account doesn't, you know, can I actually use that to buy a, you know, whatever. Well, I mean, hey, it's time. I mean, fucking, I appreciate it. Like that's awesome. Whatever, whatever. I mean, and also like, look, also like if you want to zoom with me one day and tell me the best option to like what wallet to get, and then you can send me like a buck or two, just so I can see how it works and how the transaction works, and I can access it. Then I'm down to do that. I'm down to get into the crypto. I really am. I just nobody is like when I listen to somebody, it's like a fucking it's like listening to me, right? Like, but it's I'm not talking for 3 hours on the same subject. They're literally start talking about crypto and wallets and this and soft things, and then here's the hard drive, and then here's this. You got to do this, and then you could. But if it's on this thing, then you could turn it. And I'm like, okay, is it just? And we talked about this the other day, but is it just like a fucking? It seemed to me like a shell game, a shell corporations, and a stock market that businesses go under all the time, and then all of a sudden nothing's working. So I'm like, what am I buying? And so like maybe and so this is like talk to me in person. Like we'll do a Zoom, so you can help me with that and send me a couple bucks on there. But I will take you up on the 50, and if it turns into something, fucking yeah, that's that. I'm totally down with that. Like I mean, honestly, if you guarantee that like that you'll do that, I would send you cash, and you could just can I piggyback on you, like make it easy. Like if that's what you can do, if you could just like if you could just cash app it or PayPal, like that's the easiest way for me. Or what's the other one? I totally forgot I had it, and somebody sent me some money the other day on it. I was like, holy shit, I forgot I had Venmo. So Cash App and PayPal is the easiest ones for me to access because card also works, that I can get cash out from PayPal, and uh, Cash App also has a card and blah. You know what I'm saying? So I can use that pretty much anywhere, and I can use it on the computer. I can use it in card. I can buy shit with it. Um, but if I can't figure out how this shit works, I'm happy. I'll throw you some dollars. I'll throw it into your account and let me piggyback on you. I don't know you, but weird I am. I would trust you to like just if like you just like, hey, I just fucking figured out how to make $1,000, 1,000% profit in 2 months on something, and I gave you $20, and all of a sudden $20, 1,000%. Hey, fucking cool. Uh, and reinvest 40, give me the other shit, and like and that's your profit would be just for letting me piggyback on whatever the fuck you're doing, because you know how the market's volatility works. You know what shit to invest in. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's kind of like you play the stock market game. You got the suit and tie on, and I'm doing the other weird shit. Yeah. Hey, whatever. But definitely we'll work something out some way, shape, or form. Because I mean, if I had my druthers, what would I do with my life? Yeah. Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. I just have never. I've never. Funny because I told you this before. I think I used to sell stock, penny stocks, and IPOs into companies and shit when I was much younger. So I understood what that was. And then I got out of that and I started building house and doing other things. So I still have a knowledge of the idea of it. And at the time, like that was, so I got passive income on that too, which was like, okay, if you do this and then the IPO blows up or whatever, I get some cash off it. So I didn't, that makes sense to me. And I wish I had that now, but like if I had my druthers, what would I rather do with my time? Pretty much do this. Or if someone needed my help, like they needed to, like some people, they want to talk to me differently. They want like, some people want to meet me in person. Some people need, questions answered with like, okay, they really want to know about like cancer, or this or that, or I could answer the questions better if I was more stable financially, which would be, financial, mentally as well. I wouldn't be I wouldn't have days where I'd be so like, fuck this shit. Like, I don't really want to, like, if I could wake up and go, hi, I'm not going to worry about how to, I can go be creative and help people today. I'd rather just do this. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just, yeah. Yeah, that's, what would I do? Like, if you woke up every day and did what you love doing, what would it be? Like, there's a reason I put a lot of fucking time into knowing what I know. Because I thought I could help people. I, I didn't know. I never equated to like if I know all of this, it'll give me the freedom to be like, kind of somewhere in there. I was like, all right, maybe I'll find out like the secrets to the universe or something, and then I could share them with people. Like whenever I got into the dream world and understood how to get out of body and have all of these cool experiences out of body, fuck, I was happy to share that with people because God, there's free right there. But then here it's like, is that really gonna? Is that gonna secure this physical realm a little more? It's worked to a degree for a long time. To a degree, I have my stresses as much as anybody else, but I'd rather be well, financially, therefore physically and mentally a little more. Physically and mentally free. I would do different things physically too. Cool. All right. Well, let's do. Hey, let's do the Zoom sometime tomorrow, sometime on Saturday, because I'm getting a little saucy right now, if you can't tell, and I want to be a little bit more focused. So we'll do the Zoom tomorrow, and you can explain it to me and tell me what the best wallet is and how to get in there, access it, and how to get the money out, and like, do I have to link up like what blah blah blah? Because I've spent so much hours trying to listen to people explain to me on through a YouTube, and I have a specific question, they go on a long tangent. Yeah. Cocaine, champagnes, just no hookers. Oh, I don't. For me, I'll give you. You can take out the coke. Um, and I already told you I don't like champagne. I would just stick to beers and the hookers. Nah, my personality gets me laid. My charm, my personality, and I'm kind of nice to look at. And most chicks are like they like my hair, and they eventually realize I'm a pretty good fuck. So no, I don't really. I've never. You know what? I've never paid for any one of those three things. Never, not once. Maybe a bottle of champagne, like at a party for people, like if we're going to a party. Never paid for a hooker. Not even in the general sense. Not even in the general sense of like going to a bar and paying. I think I told you that. I think I told everybody story a couple of weeks ago. Like I learned my lesson pretty quick about buying chicks drinks, and the lesson is don't do it. The only times that I thought I was going home with a chick and not get laid was the two times I bought chicks drinks. The only two times. Any other time, I'm batting like not even Hall of Fame shit. I'm betting like 99%. If you know, if I know, I know. It's good. Nope. Two times I bought chicks drinks. I was like, hey, don't worry. I've been denied before. I'm not saying that. Like right up front. Like, hey, what's up? Like, talking to your goofy drunk ass, or not attracted to you, which is fine. But no, that's never paid for never, and I never paid for coke either. No, because if somebody's got cheap coke, they're willing to share it. If somebody has enough money to have good coke, of course they're willing to share it. So you just gotta know who to hang out with. And champagne is just overrated for all levels. It's just overrated. What is the point? I think if I were to do any sort of comedy skit bit, a little bit of a try my hand at it, I like that would be a great title. You know, cocaine, um, champagne. It would be called cocaine, champagne, and hookers, and it would be all stories of my life where those things never happened, or maybe a couple times, a couple of those things did. It's so funny. That's the one thing that I wish I had a little more memory of. You know how they always say the best nights in your life are the ones that you don't remember. There's some stories that sometimes when I'm around people, they're like, "Do you remember when?" And they have to give me a little piece of story. I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about funny how funny that was." So it's UK time. Oh, so it's late as fuck for you, huh? Oh, so you're at like what? You're like in the AM. You're already Saturday morning. You're like what, 6? 7? Like 6 a.m., 7 a.m.? Anyway, so yeah, like they say the best times in your life are the ones you don't remember. And there's so many funny stories that, you know, either been involved in, part of, or the reason for. Bad ones too, like stupid ones, like oh what a mess of an evening. But like no, the funny ones, I wish I could just access those because there's a lot of really really hilarious ones. Most of the time I would just have to be like, hey, yo, tell me some funny stories and just remind me of, and they'll just start laughing. And I'd probably start there with telling. Mm, there's a show that I believe I don't think it's on Comedy Central anymore, but it was hosted by oh, what are you talking about? Okay, I ain't got many girlfriends. What the fuck is you talking about? You ain't got many girlfriends? I haven't had a girlfriend in uh, I don't know, over a year. You bought a hooker in Thailand? Was it a lady boy? Be honest. Could you tell? And did you care? Could you tell and did you care? I mean, I'm thinking off like at a reasonable rational rate of me thinking, no way. But there's a few things that I do know. If I'm drunk enough, perhaps, and I really don't care. And also the rate of these chicks, if it's actually a chick, they have less STDs than anywhere else in the world. It's crazy. They assumed that all of these doctors, whenever they're like, "Hey, we want to study different types of medicine to make, because we want to find out what kind of crazy STDs these chicks have." Because obviously, Thailand hookers, they're a raw dog. You can do just anything you want. And they were finding out that, okay, obviously there's enough of them are there trannies, so they're not really, can't get them pregnant anyways. But the other ones weren't getting any STDs because afterwards they were doing yogurt douches. They were douching themselves with yogurt and killing the semen and the bacteria. And they were not, and they also were taking other herbs, so to kill the semen. Like I think pennyroyal and yogurt, and just clean as a whistle. And then you have the other ones that were ladyboys, whatever. Would I do that? Like, I don't know. I've never been to Thailand. Do I think Thai chicks are dope? Like the ones that I met here? Yeah, as far as I know. I've always liked the smell of Asian women. Bought a hooker in Thailand. Good for you. That's a whole thing, man. That's, I mean, mentally, I have a challenge with that. I don't know what it is. Like, I get it. In the end, you kind of pay for it anyways. Like, I've been in Vegas and I was like, been to places where it's like, like when I first came to New Orleans, some chicks driving around and like, hey, yo, what's up? Hey, I was like, oh, we'll hang out. And then okay, as I'm in there, I'm like realizing these girls they're working. So I just like jumped in the car because like where I'm from and the things I do, um, if we're, I meet people in weirdest ways, and so like I'm just like walking around the city. It's like late, and I guess they may have finished working at the club. Like, oh, what you doing? And I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I was like, oh, you guys are like working. And they're like, they kind of smiled. And I was like, oh, I thought we was about to hang out, like go do some shit, like because like they're like, oh, baby, I'd love to, but we gotta make some dough tonight. I was like, okay. I was like, maybe I'll see you around when you're not so busy. Yeah, but I don't know. I just could never get my head around. Here's, I'll give you this, and you. Yeah, I mean, what's the difference? What's really the difference if you take a chick out to eat and you pay for it, and then she afterwards? What's the difference? Really isn't. You just write direct to the source material of what was happening. I mean, meant like thinking through it. I really don't have a problem. It's not a challenge for that. It's just like I don't know. I think I just like to feel like if I go out with a chick, I don't like. I'm like, yo, realize we're Dutching this. Like, maybe you'll buy me a drink. Maybe we're just going Dutch on this. But if you're gonna have relations after, like, it's because it's. I'm not buying you shit so that you like me or act like you like me. I don't like that. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've hung out with chicks that are strippers and I've dated chicks that are strippers that I didn't know when I first met them that they were strippers, and we were just friends, you know. And a couple of them that I dated, I didn't know until later because I didn't do anything for them. Like I wasn't like meeting them in a club and like spending money on them and shit. Laos. You said Laos. Laos. Was the chick for sure? Okay. Yeah, right. I've seen some chicks that are definitely do. Well, I was talking to a couple people. I was like, "Is that a like yo? That's not." Then they're like, "I understand, but that's a dude." I'm like, "Oh, now I see." Yeah. And you can tell. I'm pretty sure there's a moisture level to the region. I'm pretty sure that's it. And also, if the titties aren't installed, that's not a dead giveaway because a lot of chicks just get extra titties installed. I love how this conversation is. We've been all over the map with like the kind of shit we're talking about all night. The yogurt douches. That's what's up, yo. Yogurt douches. Yeah, basically anything that has a different bacteria strain probiotics is going to kill off of the bacteria. That's all it is really for STDs. It's a disease that's transmitted through that. It wasn't made through that. In fact, what most people would tell you is most of the disease happened because of witches that would do things to put spells on dudes to try to keep a man, including yeast infections. The yeast infection, this is where it's said to come from, is there's spells in books for witches. They say if you want a man to fall in love with you, you go home and you make him bread. You make him a loaf of bread, and you sit on it, and you, right, as she's massaging the dough with her vagina, the yeast got into the vagina. She got a yeast infection. Now, did the dude fall in love with her? Probably, because now it's got her scent and aroma on it, and when she's serving it to you, she's happy as anything, and there's going to be an extra something in there that you'll notice, you know? And so that was the origination of yeast infections. And then other sexually transmitted, again, transmitted, not the actual disease itself. It didn't start there. There's something else that was bacteria strain getting into a body, and that's why yogurt cultures will work, and why it's easier for so why women get more infections and bacterias than men, because they're orifices. They're bringing something into them. Men tend not to. It's less frequent. Let's see with them really stanky bitches. Oh, did you come down? Did you come down? You said never, just once, never again. Did you come down with little fucking with the Speak of the funny, man. Speak of the funny. I guess I'll have another drink. Why not? What do we got? What do we got going on? If people have got here late to the show, we just got through talking about sexually transmitted diseases, hookers, prostitution. I mean, it's kind of one and the same, right? I don't know. We'll move on to something else. I think we've covered a lot of different topics tonight, I must say. This will be a little sugar, a little bit of sugar. Oh, there's daggery here. Okay, cool. Back to whatever awesome shit we're about to do. No, one second. Okay, cool. A fake pom pom. I call it a pom pom. The pom pom. Such a that is actually one of my favorite. I haven't used that term in a long time. I don't know. Maybe because like I almost forgot what vagina even is. I don't even know. It's like I almost feel like I don't even know what I would do anymore. I'd be like, what am I what am I gonna do here? Sometimes you're in that rhythm, like you could, I don't know if you've ever been in that rhythm where it's like, it depends on where you live, and like how often, like how easy it is to scoop something up. And sometimes you're in that rhythm where like you just know, you just like, and then if you haven't in a while, you're like, I don't know, is it, can I, have you ever been like that? Like you go, can I kiss you? Oh man, that's the funniest. And she'll look at you and be like, are you stupid? I'm like, yes. It's like the worst, like whenever you like you're really into a chick and you don't say anything, and then you meet her again later, like another time, and like you have the conversation. Fuck out here, witches did that. Yeah, you can look it up. Look it up. It'll probably be like it'll probably show up like, no, this isn't true. This is true. No, there's actually witchery books on it. Yep, witchery books, man. I mean, there's all sorts of ways that you could put magical spells onto people using certain things, and some, yeah, hold energy a little differently. But bread is a pretty big one. And I think probably how it probably started occurring was they weren't supposed to use yeast when, like, maybe there was something they didn't follow in directions properly. I don't know. But whatever. That's the story that I had read. It seems reasonable. Seems reasonable. It seems reasonable that most diseases would have come. Hear me out here. Come through woman because she can jam anything she wants up there. So it could be like a rotting carrot. Could be yogurt. Could be vegetation. Could be wood that she didn't clean off. All right. Could be any kind of dildo type thing. Could be making a magical spell using her. You know what I mean? So that would all cause a bacterial, say, vaginitis, some sort of like. Where men like what I mean what do you got working with here? You like just a dirty hand perhaps, or in that it's like. Yeah. One for the bucket list. I hear you. Yeah, I never had that. I never had that. Like, what things would I put on that list? I never had it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've had so many weird experiences, and most of it just kind of like I just like, oh shit, life is like this, and I kind of enjoy most of what I do. I mean, if I had to write everything down, like, well, oh, it'd be too big of a list. You know, it'd be insurmountable in as short of time as I believe that we have on this in this realm here, at least in this body, right? I don't know. There's some things that I would like to do, and sure. But all in all, like, would you write on your bucket list that you want to just be depressed and sleep for 3 days and listen to shitty listen to like shitty depressive music and cry? No, you would never write that down. But have you ever done it? It's pretty fucking awesome. It's pretty relieving sometimes. You wouldn't write it down though. So I feel like I get those little things out of the way by not writing it down, because there's some things that I've experienced that I wouldn't have chosen, but all in all, I had good experience. Lots of times that I have experiences, I'm like, oh Christ, what's going on here? And it turns out to be awesome. I haven't had that. I haven't had that too many experiences that were like, you know, awful or something, like something bad turned out. You know, I don't. It just doesn't. Even if it goes through my mind for a second, I'm like, nah, don't worry, this is cool. This is gonna be fun, and it ends up being fun. Maybe if I instead of calling it the bucket list, I call it something different. I could do it. Her name was Holly. Holly. the whole name Lee, or Holy, like, holy shit. Oh, too funny. Too funny. Hmm. Man, I'm at that perfect spot of drunk where I want to eat something, but I also don't feel like making anything. And also that would ruin my drunk. Hmm. And you know what I did? I forgot to get from the store when I went there. I forgot to get the one thing I wanted to get to go with this vodka. I wanted to get like a fucking cheap fucking store pizza bullshit, you know? Just that whatever the fucking pizza is that sucks. It's in the box. It doesn't suck. It's just not. It's not like one of those fancy rising crusts with all that. No, I just want the shit pizza. It's perfect at when you're kind of drunk. That's all I wanted, and it's cheap. Forgot to get that. So my other choice is strawberries, which is not a good idea right now. I want those for the morning. Got cucumber. No, that's breakfast. They had avocados on sale, but there was none left. So I don't know. Just I guess it's vodka. So it's time. Check it out. Fuck it. It's almost midnight here. I'm gonna call it an evening, man, because I think I'm gonna get cozy, and it's been awesome, and I'll try to talk to you later today. You know what I'm saying? Fuck sakeb. I don't even know what that means. But I'll talk to you. Three witches. Ah, shit. How'd that turn out? Hey, Skull, good to see you. And it's time. Oh yeah, shit. I couldn't even tell you. There's too many. There's too many that. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows at this point? But check it out. Good to see everybody. I'm gonna go get comfy, and it's time. I will talk to you tomorrow, perhaps, or today, tomorrow, whatever, sometime very soon about the crypto and everything else, and see if we can't figure something out. And good to see you, Skull. And whoever's in the background there. But yeah, it's hey, what's up, Jay Marley? You in the background the whole time, just rubbing oil on your Floridian body of work. Were you waxing up your surfboard? It's good to see you too, man. Stay weird, stay well. I'm gonna go fucking take a nap. I think it's a good time. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Stay goofy and be funky. Yeah, got you too, bro. Talk soon. Toodles, noodles, caboodles, chicken and noodles, or something.